Hello, welcome back to Water. My name's Beast, and today we're back with Riddle Joker. I don't know why I decided to do the intro like that. Also, the camera's still too high up. There we go, that's better. I feel like I wanted to say something, but I kind of forgot. Oh yeah, final thing. I read through the start of this adventure here today. The one that came with the kit I bought, and the thing I love about this thing is that it has DM tips here, and one of the first tips that it says is when in doubt, make it up. Like, push comes to shove, just make up random bullshit. That's basically what it sounds like, and I don't know why, but I adore that. Also, I say also, but then I forget if I wanted to say something or not. Oh yeah, basically, I now have an actual custom channel URL, namely www.youtube.com/c/thewildhunt, everything small, and as well as I have in the channel info tab now set up a little recording schedule with which is set up as Monday to Thursday censored visual novel, which means like stuff like Riddle Joker, which the base game I'm playing is already censored, so I wouldn't have to like go into editing and censor it. Then Friday, Saturday, uncensored visual novel, which is currently Noble Works, which means that there's a chance that I have to in post go into the recordings, into the editing software and censor something. And Sunday being the co-host project, which currently is the Ditzy Demons. I Love Me is together with Bud and Eagle. After we're done with that, we'll be moving on to Sabbath the Witch. So that's more Usersoft for those who aren't content with only Riddle Joker and Noble Works. So yeah. Anyways, let's move on. Hey Nanami! Would you be interested in going on a date? I'll pay for everything. Also, apparently, something that's very much irking about the sex scenes in Nanami's-Route is that they keep pointing out the fact that she's a sister, which I was saying, don't do that. Like, if anything, it actually, for those two, feels unnatural. Anyways, what are you looking at me like that for?
驚きの顔。まさかサトルくんからデートに誘ってくれるなんて。サトルくんは普段から一緒にいるからわざわざデートする必要もないだろうとか考えそうだったから。
What? That's ridiculous! All couples go on dates. Why would I not ask you out? Holy shit, she stood up read my mind! All those years we've lived together definitely haven't gone by unnoticed. She knows me better than I know myself.
あと、おごるとか言い出すのがサトルくんらしくない。普通じゃない。
Come to think of it, it's like I was very blatantly telling her that I wanted to earn her thanks. I guess it came off as a bit unnatural.
あやしい。絶対よからぬことを考えてる。
Wow, I would never.
でも単純にデートしたいと思ってのことではないはずだよ。
Can't hide anything from you.
そうだよ。子供の頃からずっと一緒だったんだから。さあ、何も考えてるのか。素直に白状しなさい。
Alright, I'll tell you. But one thing. It really isn't anything bad. After that preface, I tell her about how I felt bad that I didn't notice how she felt about me sooner. So, to let her know that I want to do something to make... and I also let her know that I wanted to do something to make it up to her. She just stands there silently listening. Then, the moment I finish, she heaves a long, heavy sigh in evident exasperation. Why the sigh?
サトルくんが見当違いなこと言うから。気づかれる方が私も困ってた。さっき言ったよね。お詫びなんてこれっぽっちも望んでない。だからおごられる理由もない。
But...
お兄ちゃん。
Yes. Her stern interruption causes me to reflexively straighten my back as a reply.
気持ちは嬉しいけど、変に恋人っぽい雰囲気を演出しようとしなくていいよ。慣れないことしてたら、お互い疲れちゃうしね。
Get your point, I guess.
デートに行きたくないわけじゃないよ。でも、負担になるようなデートはしたくないの。私にとっても、お兄ちゃんにとっても。
What? Shouldn't it be what I want in a date where we can both enjoy ourselves freely, not what I don't want?
それに、
like they fucked up.
おごられちゃうと、それが気になって好きなもの食べられないし、行きたいところも遠慮しちゃうよ。おごらないでいい。無理しておしゃれなことしなくていい。デートで一番重要なのは、大好きな人と一緒にいられることだから。
My foot hurts.
だから、デートにかけるお金よりも、デートの回数が増えるだけで、私には十分。私には、それが一番なんだよ。お兄ちゃん。
The natural smile she flashes me causes the tension to escape my shoulders. Yeah, I understand. Shouldn't take everything written on the internet at face value.
そうだよ。お互い疲れない空気というか、ちょうどいい距離は体に染み込んでるんだから。過度に気を使ってくれなくてもいい。お兄ちゃんの気持ちは、他の部分でちゃんと伝わってくるから。
Thanks, Nanami. I'll ask you out again once I have a plan in mind.
楽しみにしてるね。
Alright, so the big question is still date time. But where to? Alright, so the big question is, where should we go? A place that will allow us to relax, just enjoy ourselves. But still feels like an actual date. Is it just me or are those conditions super hard to meet? Well, I could always just go the simple route and see a movie over there. But there's nothing showing right now that I'm interested in. Window shopping, maybe? Nah, it feels kinda feels forced.
どうしたの？何か悩み事？
Nothing much, just thinking about our upcoming date.
デート？
Can I ask you some advice?
解決できる自信はないけど、聞くだけなら。
So the thing is, tell him about the date I'm planning to go on with Nanami and what I'm currently mulling over. I don't want anything too fancy, but going too simple would also be bad. I'm having trouble thinking of some place that would strike a good balance.
ああ、言いたいことは理解したよ。
Can you think of any place?
力になりたいのは山々だけど、僕もデートなんてしたことないからな。
Well, you've still lived in this town longer than me. If you've heard about any neat places that fit my criteria, I'm all ears. Hold on. Come off. Seems. Or it's just coming off very slowly. Both are an option. That's not coming off. The thing bounced off of my controller and almost hit the screen. That was close.
僕が知ってるのは安くてたくさん食べられる美味しい店ばっかりだからね。そういう色っぽい場所は本当に知らないんだよね。
Damn.
力になれなくて申し訳ない。
Nah, sorry for throwing this on you out of nowhere. It's not your fault for not knowing, don't sweat it.
せめて何か一言だけでも何か。あ、そうだ。プールなんてどうかな。
What pool? Do they have an indoor water park in Washington or something?
レジャーじゃなくてこの学院のプールさ。ほら、 能力のためなら申請すれば授業以外でも使用できるけど、一般の学生では難しいだろ。で、一般の学生もプールを使用できるように学生に開放される日があるんだ。次の休みの日が開放日だったはずだよ、確か。一般の学生のためとはいえ、もちろんアストラル使いの学生も利用できる。
The pool. We probably wouldn't feel nervous or anything since we'd still be on a school campus. But there's people around, so you can't get too lovey-dovey. Am I aware, actually?
でしょ?
Won't there be a lot of people at this pool day or whatever? There for this pool day?
そりゃ春や夏の暖かい時期ならね。いくら温水とはいえ、もうすぐ冬だから混むってほどではないはずだよ。アトラクションがあるわけでもないしね。あ、でも顔見知りが多い場所でデートってなると変な噂が立つかな。
Everybody feels weird, like there's a crust near my nose or something. Yeah, that's a possibility.
なんならカモフラージュ代わりに僕も付き合おうか?
Thanks, Kyoe. Appreciate the offer, but can I get back to you later on that? It's our first date, so I don't want to screw it up.
僕は全然構わないよ。どうせ予定はないからさ。
Thanks, man.
いいって。別に何をしたわけでもないんだから。
いいよ。プール、楽し
み。What about Kyoe's offer?
隠すならカムフラージュはしておいた方がいいんだろうけど。ちなみにサトルくんはそこら辺のことどう考えてるの?
To be honest, having to hide our relationship from now till graduation would be a real hassle. Like that said, we can legally get married. I think we should just go alone. Isn't that how dates are supposed to be?
私も二人の方が嬉しい。じゃあ、二人きりで行こっか。
Oh no, there just happened to be no one there. So they can have sex at the poolside, which apparently is going to be a thing for every character, from what I've heard. If anyone says anything, we'll just explain it, and that we aren't blood related. It's not like we've been unintentionally hiding it. It's just never been a reason to say it. The fact that we're adopted might also turn into gossip fodder, but oh well. I mean, the gossip fodder is going to be who of the two is adopted, because people are probably not gonna think, yes, both of them are adopted. They're gonna like start a whole ass war over the fact like Satoru is adopted. No, clearly Nanami is adopted. That's nothing we aren't used to. Then again, if we tell people that, they might think we've been dating for years. People might end up saying some nasty things about you.
私なら平気だよ。こうして好きな人がそばにいてくれるなら。
Also, before this part, I decided, fuck it, let's roll a d20 to see if this recording is gonna be good. I rolled, and it was a 7. So, anyways, she leans against me. After that, she looks up at me with moist eyes and whispers softly to me in an alluring tone.
お兄ちゃんと一緒にいられるなら、それだけで私は十分。
I'm not gonna sing it.
人の噂も75日って言うしね。何かあってもすぐに収まるよ。
Oh, my leg hurts. Alright. Tell me if you hear anything, though. I'll keep you safe.
ありがとう、お兄ちゃん。
Okay, so we're set for this Saturday. And one last time, this isn't meant to be an apology or anything of the sort. I just want to go on a date with you.
リドルジョーカー。
Finally, the weekend arrived.
フローチャート画面です。
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. How many sex scenes were there with every character? Like 4? Like, I'm trying to remember based off of Mayu's. There was 2 for Chizuki, I know that. There was the masturbation one for Mayu, and the first sex scene. Actually, were there only 3? There was only 3. This could actually be the last sex scene for Nanami. Anyways, finally the weekend arrives. I finished changing into my trunks, and I'm now waiting for Nanami. There's relatively few people here at the pool. It's because of the season, like Kyo said. Most of them seem to be groups of friends, actually, not couples. Good, I don't see anyone here we know. There are guys messing around in the water, but also girls too. Off in the distance, I can spot a few in some pretty sexy bikinis. I'll admit they're attractive, but the thing is, I prefer Nanami. As those Siscon-esque thoughts are swirling around in my head, Nanami finally comes out of the dressing room in her bikini. Stop. Cole. The hint of bashfulness and cheeks blushed, she positions herself in front of me. It's so strange. I've seen her in this bikini before. Moreover, I even know how she looks. I even now know how she looks naked. So why? Actually, no. Actually, maybe that's exactly why. My body's growing hot by the side of her in her bikini. I'm mesmerized by the stark contrast between the bold red of her swimsuit and the soft white of her skin. Sorry, you're just too cute.
以前は私の水着にそんな目をすることはなかったから、興奮するってことは恋人だと思ってくれてるってことだから、それは嬉しいかな。
Like someone nearby is gonna hear like, what the fuck? Oh, I'm really turned on. You look incredibly hot.
ありがとうっていいのかな。そんな風に褒められると恥ずかしいな。嬉しくないわけじゃないんだけど。
Well, that's enough talking. Let's have some fun. Watch out, here I come! There's no time to jump right into the water.
ちょっとサトルくん、まずはちゃんと準備運動をしておかないと危ないよ。
Ah, crap! I'm just gonna float around.
だとしてもしっかりしておかないと。
Fine, I'll do my stretches. Roll my shoulders, rotate my hips, stretch my calves and ankles without getting out of the water. By the time I'm done, so is Nanami. Come on, hop in. She sits down at the pool's edge, puts her feet inside first, and then slowly gets into the water. Get to see her creamy white thighs, followed by her cute belly button, then those large tits of hers that jut out from her bikini, and finally her slender neck. It's all just so damn sexy. Can you stop, please? Hardly surprising, considering your bikini is no different than a bra and panties. Shit, this isn't good. Can't get horny in a public place.
Satoru-kun, どうしたの?
Trying to fight my horniness right now, and it's a struggle.
それって、私が水着姿だから?
Yeah, what else could it be?
そっか.
Why is it bubbling? Why is there bubbling sounds? Yes, they're in water, but it's not boiling. This really makes me realize you're no longer just my sister, I guess. I hate having to read out these lines. Please, just drop it. Actually, in hindsight, I don't know how I managed to be unfazed when I looked at you before. Just so sexy.
またそんなバカなこと言って。
I mean it.
分かってるよ、それぐらい。そんなお世辞を言える性格じゃないもん。だから、嬉しいよ。ありがとう、お兄ちゃん。
Stop! The smile on her face is just so cute. Damn, I just got a heart on.
こんなところでお兄ちゃんのエッチ。
I'm sorry, you're just too you're just so damn attractive.
もう、そんな嬉しいこと言うような人には。
Oh! Nice, stop! She puts her hands in the water and splashes it on my head.
こうすれば少しは頭も冷えるでしょ。ほらほら。
Boobs jiggle each time she splashes the water. How's that supposed to help me? It's only making things worse.
まだ冷えないって言うなら、ここだ。
Ah! He suddenly leaps at me. He crashes into me and my body falls on the water. Following after me, Nanami also submerges. She's kissing him. Then share a kiss on the water. Ah, that's smart of her. I had an inkling she was doing this for a reason. So that was her idea. Kiss on the water, no one should be able to notice. It's a pool. It's a pool. It's not. The water isn't murky enough to hide that too well. Other people currently in the water are gonna notice. Are you fucking retarded? Even inside the water, I can vividly feel her lips. I feel guilty for kissing around others, but at the same time, it's so exhilarating. The thrill makes me want to keep going on forever. But naturally, my breath won't last. After reaching my limit, I grudgingly pry my lips off from the surface. Everyone saw. Nanami? She's still underwater. Does she want me to dive back down? Oh, wait. What if she's drowning? A moment after that terrifying thought crosses my mind, I hear a splash of water from behind me. Oh, is that you, Nanami? Like, who's your source? Who sent you here? Ah, don't scare her like that. As soon as you start to fear you might be drowning.
心配かけてごめんね。
As long as you're fine.
で、どうだった？
Did what work?
だからほら、キスで少しは体の熱も収まった？
Not in the slightest. You practically poured oil on the fire.
大胆なことしちゃったね。
Sure, but sure was. But I'm glad you decided to do it. I think I just heard voices outside.
うん、私もだよ。もしかして誰かに見られたかな？
Doesn't look like it. Look around, but nobody seems to be focused on us. You probably just think we're having fun like everyone else here.
それならよかった。
Tightly latches herself onto my body and leans against me. Large breasts get squished and I can feel her heartbeat. Her heart's racing just as much as mine. Maybe she clung on to my back to cover up her embarrassment.
サトルくんの背中大きいよね。
Well, I am a guy.
それになんか熱い。
Because of that kiss. Also, just in case you aren't aware, your boobs are pressing up against me.
知ってるよ。わざと当ててるんだもん。
Wow, I didn't raise you to be a hussy.
ビッチじゃないよ。私がこんなことするのはお兄ちゃんだけだもん。
A shiver runs down my spine as she whispers that into my ear. There's not a trace of that childlike innocence from mere minutes ago. What I heard was the bewitching voice of a seductress. Seriously amazing what a few words can do to drastically change someone's impression. She is a girl, alright.
また興奮しちゃった。
What do you think?
私がビッチならお兄ちゃんはエッチだよね。
There'd have to be something seriously wrong with me if I didn't get horny from my girlfriend pressing her boobs against my back. Actually, you're trying to get me horny on purpose, aren't you?
やっぱり気づいた。
It was pretty obvious.
私にメロメロになってもらってどっぷり依存してもらおうかなって思って。
Well, you're too late. I already can't live without you.
それって炊事洗濯での依存でしょ？そうじゃなくて私以外には興奮しないぐらい 羽抜きにしちゃいたいの。
You're a lot more possessive than I pegged you for.
お兄ちゃん、縛り付けられるのって嫌かな。
Mean debatably is better than what Hazuki was gonna do. With the whole, like, I don't mind him if he has like an affair or two. That's fucking weird. Anyways. No, I do. I'll always be your only boyfriend. There we go. You don't need to mention the other thing. You're trying to suppress the other thing. Don't keep mentioning it. It feels odd in this. Like this is not just me like being like this is legitimately just like it feels wrong in this route. It just feels off. Just like feels like it doesn't belong. Though I'll have to pass on being tied up in the literal sense. BDSM is not my thing.
そんなこと考えてもなかったよ。本当、お兄ちゃんはエッチなんだから。
Doesn't mean you have to be a perv. That just means he's trying to be a goddamn comedian.
そんなエッチなお兄ちゃんに提案があるんだけど。
Which is?
もう一回水の中に潜ってみない？
Watching voice echoes through my brain, rattling it to its core. The extremely sensual tone causes my breath to get caught in my throat. And you accuse me of being a pervert.
ねえお兄ちゃん、どうしようか。
Instead of replying verbally, I choose to respond with action. Take a deep breath to ready myself in advance this time. Nanami must have caught on. She also breathes in behind me, storing oxygen in her lungs. Once she's done, we dive down together. Just our bodies and kiss on the water. Like last time, though, this isn't a tongue kiss. We are just pressing our lips together, mouths closed. Even so, this kiss is just as exhilarating as all the French kisses we've had. Our kiss lasted until our lungs had been completely depleted of oxygen. Like someone must have seen them. Like, look, no, hold on. Let's go back. Let's fucking go back. You can clearly see, like, the lines at the bottom, like, designating the lanes for swimming. It would easily see them making out in the fucking pool. Don't talk like it would hide anything. Like, I'm calling bullshit. Like, if by the next day there aren't already rumors going everywhere that they're trying to make a little incest baby or something, I'm calling bullshit. We continued playing and frolicking around on our pool date. To anyone watching, we probably just looked like a pair of kids messing around. No, they all saw you making out, probably. Little did they know, though, we were doing some pretty adult things in places that we couldn't see, such as under the water. The water was very much see-through, you stupid bitch! Time flew, and before we knew it, the sun was already setting.
まだ残っている人がいるんですか?
Oh, Kakimoto.
有原くん。それに有原さんも。もうプールを閉めますよ。
Ah, it's already this late.
ええ、そんな時間です。周りを見てください。他の子たちはもう寮に戻っていますよ。
I scanned the area. He's right. We're the only ones left. We didn't even notice.
すみません。すぐに出ます。
ええ、お願いします。
怒られちゃったね。
The way she smiles and giggles is so unbelievably cute.
今日は楽しかったね、サトルくん。
Yep, I did too. This was the first time we'd gone to the pool to have fun. I'd imagined a pool date. My only thought was, well, I hope it ends up being a nice date, and nothing more. But I have to say, it was much more fulfilling as a date than I'd imagined. More specifically, I'd say it was exhilarating. We've always been together, and I've gone shopping with her, just the two of us, countless times before. But doing something together as a couple makes all the difference. Or rather, act a lot more woman-like today than I expected you to.
何それ。今までどんな目で私のことを見てたわけ？
Sorry, don't snap at me yet. I just didn't word that right. I was trying to say that I didn't think of you as a girl, or I wasn't trying to say that I didn't think of you as a girl, or that I thought of you as a boy or anything.
じゃあ、どういう意味？
I've always been kind of conscious of the fact that you're younger than me. But all throughout our date today, you did some really crazy stuff. So it really made me realize that you're a mature, alluring woman in your own right.
それは、むしろ、サトルくんが子供っぽすぎるだけなんじゃないかな。
I won't deny it.
認めちゃったよ、この人。
Why should I get all defensive over it? It's the undeniable truth. I was like putty in your hands today, and it was exciting. Thanks, Nanami.
何急に。
For falling in love with a schmuck like me. I would have really regretted it if I didn't realize how charming you could be.
私が妹でよかったね、サトルくん。
No, you should be very sad about the fact, because it's weird! Ugh. Back. That felt weird for a second. What the fuck was that? Oh, I do.
そんなに素直に受け入れられちゃうと逆に恥ずかしくなるな。
But I mean it.
疑ってるわけじゃないよ。私もね、お兄ちゃんがお兄ちゃんでよかった。ありがとうね。
Welcome.
私もね、今日はドキドキしたよ。
Was it?
そうだよ。それぐらいお兄ちゃんのことが大好きなんだもん。
Love you too, Nami.
またデートしようね、お兄ちゃん。
You definitely will.
リドルジョーカー。
で、最近はどう？
フローチャート画面だね。
This time for sure. What? Oh, they're probably gonna try to cash the leftover people. Oh, how's what been going?
ほら、妹ちゃんと恋人として交際を始めて、それなりに日にちが経つから。
Well, there's nothing much worth noting.
順調に愛を育んでるってことならよかった。
Yeah, our date at the pool ended up being pretty nice. Thanks for the idea.
そう？力になれたならよかった。
We do pick her on occasion, but she'll also sometimes get peeved at me because of small misunderstandings. But honestly, that's how it's always been. Those tiny things aren't going to impede our relationship in any way. And it's precisely because both she and I are aware of this that we're able to be completely open with our feelings.
ま、末永くお幸せに。
Thanks.
ああ、でもたまには派手な喧嘩してくれていいよ。そしたら美味しい餃子を食べられるかもしれないしね。
That'll end up shaving a few years off of my life, so I'd like to avoid that. Thank you very much.
チェ、それは残念。
But I'll tell Nanami you want to try them again.
ありがとう。
Oh no, just glad to hear you liked them. I've heard gyoza though, so I can't really talk big. Well, I'll gladly help if there's anything I can do. Morning clouds fly by, lunch break is now here. Hey Nanami.
サトルくん。
Sorry, were you waiting long?
平気。サトルくんの方こそお腹空いたでしょ。ほら、早くお昼ご飯食べに行こう。
Yep. We're having lunch together pretty much every day lately. There are times when Mibu and Kyohei also tag along, but usually it's just the two of us. You don't actually ask the others to leave us alone or anything. They're doing it of their own accord.
今日はどこで食べようか。
How about Dom 4? Good.
いただきます。やっぱり美味しいね。
Definitely. But your cooking will always be number one for me.
もう、こんなところで何言ってるの？サトルくんのバカ。
The way she blushes despite grumbling at me is so cute. How many times have I had that exact same thought? Every little thing she does feels so much different now that she's my girlfriend.
でも、お兄ちゃんがそんなに言うのなら、そのうちまた作ってあげるね。
Oh, that'd be nice, thanks. Her face loosens as I see the big smile on her face. Anyone sees us acting like this day after day, it's no surprise that rumors have started to pop up. Talk of us has made it to both of our classes. However, thankfully, there's no mention of incest. We owe that to the fact that Nijuin, Mitsukasa, Mayu, Mibu, and Kyohei knew about us. They all made sure that no one stigmatized us. They made sure that everyone knew that we're only adoptive siblings, not blood-related. Considering that we're both astrals and everyone knows what kind of troubles astrals have to deal with, nobody had any doubts about us being adopted. Thanks to our wonderful friends, Nanami and I are able to relax and live our lives in peace.
何？
Just thinking about how lucky we are.
私もだよ。幸せをもっと味合わせてあげるね。はい。お兄ちゃん。
Nanami, you're just trying to make me eat the celery you don't like again, aren't you?
お兄ちゃん。
Well, only 'cause I love you. I open my mouth and eat the celery for her. A smug smile forms on her face that reads, sucker. In the past, that might have irked me, but the problem is, all I can think now is how cute she is.
そんなに怒らないでよ。ごめんってば。
I'm not upset.
このお礼は、いずれちゃんとするから。
Alright? I tilt my head in puzzlement. I suddenly feel something twine around my leg. Why is this a CG? Why is this a CG? It's almost like a snake or some tentacle coiling around me from both directions, being caressed in a sexual way. Nanami, what are you...
何？
She feigns ignorance and smiles, but doesn't stop caressing me with her legs. Skillfully using her toes, she gently slides her feet up my shin and calves, stimulating my lower body. Stop. Of course, though, she doesn't actually go for my crotch. She strokes the area beneath my knee with soft movements. Stop. It's not a strong stimulus by any means, but there's something really thrilling about having her play footsies with me under the table in a public place. I don't think this is the right place for that.
嫌いじゃないくせに。
Oh yeah, but that's the problem. I don't want her flipping my switch now. I mean, we still have half a day of school left.
なんか、いやらしい目になってきてるよ。お兄ちゃんのエッチ。
Speak for yourself.
そうかも。すっかりいやらしくされちゃったもんね。お兄ちゃんのせいで。
She really is just like full-blown horny. Like, she is the horny. Like, by God. Take a chill pill. Like a cold shower or something.
だから、今回のお礼は、そういう時にね。お兄ちゃん。
She flashes a difficult smile at me. It's the complete opposite of the innocent smile I always see her make. Never thought you could pull off this kind of vibe. I mean, she's younger than me, but I have to admit, she really does have a lot of sex appeal. Just the sight of that smile is nearly enough to make my heartbeat rise like a runaway train. With pleasure.
ほんと。 ちなお兄ちゃんなんだから。
She derides me almost happily as she looks at me with moist eyes.
それで、お兄ちゃんは今日の放課後なんだけど。
Oh, whoops! There's a fucking mission. We need to go and help people again. Let's continue to love lasciviously, I guess. I don't fucking know. Stroke me. The sensation almost makes my breath stop, but unfortunately I have to keep my desires in check for now. Nanami herself likely knows that too. She releases my leg from her embrace and quickly shifts back to a serious meow.
予定通りでいいの？
Nope, not that I've been informed of.
わかった。それじゃあ準備しておくね。
I would love nothing more than to give in to temptation, but sadly we have work today, so that's not happening. Especially since the SFT's reputation is on the line this time.
ついに連中の足取りをつかんだ。今度は間違いない。あんな罠にかかるような真似はしない。
I feel like you're gonna jinx it if you say that.
言いたいことはわかるが、これはそんなお約束じゃない。
Alrighty then. So where are they?
してやられたよ。以前の倉庫のすぐ近くに潜んでいやがった。しかも同じようなダミーの場所をいくつも準備してな。
Interesting. We'll head over there tonight then.
ああ、頼む。レビーナインと共にこちらに合流してくれ。作戦は日付の変更とともに襲撃をかける。
Alright, we'll be prepared. It was pretty sudden though.
こちらの動向に気づかれたらまた雲隠れされるからな。その前に叩きたい。調べられることは全て調べた。あとは行動を起こすだけだ。作戦の詳細はいつも通りの方法で送る。確認しておいてくれ。
Yes, sir. Failure is not an option for the night's mission. We have to keep ourselves focused now, or else it'll hurt us later. Getting into the right mindset before a mission is critically important.
3、2、1。今だよ。
So Nanami decided to potentially break his focus by making him the big horny. Very smart, Nanami. On her count, I jump over the academy's walls with her in my arms, and then swiftly move out of the camera's range. We're utilizing our uniform's stealth function, so we don't need to worry about getting seen. Even so, I still check our surroundings just as a precaution. Great, coast is clear. We're good. How's security looking?
セキュリティの異常は察知された様子はないよ。侵入、改ざんした痕跡も。ちゃんと消した。心配はいらない。
Alright, let's get going then. Navy 6 reporting, we're en route to the rendezvous point.
マクレガー了解。作戦に変更はありません。レビー6は指定のポイントに移動してください。レビー9は本部との合流をお願いします。
Navy 6, roger that.
レビー9、了解。
Alright, see you later.
気をつけてね、お兄ちゃん。
I'm Navy 6 now. Come on, don't sulk on me. Alright, I'll be careful. I'll make sure you do a good job supporting me so I can get out unscathed.
それは分かってるけど、本当に気をつけてね、お兄ちゃん。
Don't worry, I won't let them get a single scratch on me. It's almost time. It's 11:58 currently. I say 11:58 because 23:58 just sounds weird. 2 minutes left until midnight strikes. Let these bastards escape this time. Activating my ability, I survey the area with my sharpened senses.
周囲に異常、もしくは違和感などは。
Navy 6 reporting, nothing of note.
よし。他に何か報告すべきことがあるものは。
Oops. none respond to the chief's question.
作戦に支障となるものはないんだな。よし、なら予定通りだ。今度こそ連中を捕まえるぞ。相手が反応する前に一気に制圧することを心がけろ。
こちらマクレガー、カウントダウンを始めます。10、9。
It's like last time, a countdown starts. Like, I'm very sorry about all the sniffling. I don't know what's wrong with my nose a little bit. Maybe there's just like too little moisture in the goddamn air down here or in my room. Just like last time, a countdown starts. But today, things will be different. Everyone understands how imperative it is that we succeed. As such, every member present waits for the mark with bated breath. And finally, the moment we receive the go-ahead, we get moving. There are people inside having confirmed that I deactivated my ability. Then I shield my eyes and ears. Not a moment later, a loud explosion rings out as a white flash blinds my vision. The stun grenade that was hurled inside. Payback for what they did to us last time, you might say. The unforeseen impact causes the men in the storehouse to fall to their knees and groan. A second later, the SFD agents storm the building. They quickly tie up the immobilized men. Once the sound and flash from the stun grenade subsides, I reactivate my ability and scan the inside of the warehouse. No signs of a trap.
こちらレビー5、対象の2人を無力化、確保しました。
Levy 6, no signs of explosives.
レビー5の襲撃犯は対象を連れて撤退。車を回しています。了解。レビー6の支援班は対象が残したものを回収してください。
Roger that.
まず任務完了だね。
It's not over just yet. Don't let your guard down or they could escape.
そっちこそ重要なものを回収し忘れて後で厄介なことにならないようにね。
Of course. Leaving the two targets to Levy 5 and her team, I begin to scour the warehouse together with my own team. We must retrieve absolutely everything here that has connections with our targets. It's no small area to search, but fortunately it's relatively empty. As I go around searching for things, I eventually find something that's rather conspicuous. A bag that was hidden in a gap between a shelf and a wall. Doesn't seem dangerous, at least. The raid went smoothly and we captured both targets. Having this be a trap would serve no purpose. I carefully pulled the bag out. Huh? It's heavier than I imagined. That said, the items inside don't seem to be explosive or other weapons. It's a somewhat smallish gym bag. I carefully pull down the zipper and find money. The bag is filled with stacks of money. Also, curiously enough, they're dollar bills, not yen bills. What the heck? That's so damn much. I didn't even count the number of stacks at a glance. They're all made of $100 bills. This must be at least 20, maybe even 30. They're all crudely stuffed inside. Is this their money? Why do they even have this much? I mean, the organization is, as a whole could easily have this much at their disposal, but why would they leave it in the hands of these lackeys? It just doesn't add up. Being in a secret organization myself, I'm very familiar with how these hierarchies work. The amount isn't even the strangest thing, though. It's all in foreign currency. They surely wouldn't keep their funds in US dollars to do domestic operations. Just the fact that they have foreign currency isn't strange in and of itself. But with such a large sum, there's definitely something going on here.
先ほどのスタングレネードの影響で警察が動きました。あと5分以内に倉庫から撤収してください。
I'll have to save those questions for later. Navy 6 reporting in. I've discovered an item of concern. After I finish my report, I receive the order to bring the bag in for further inspection. Money bag in hand, I erase our traces within the warehouse and then quickly leave.
ご苦労だった。これでなんとか面目が保てる。
So that means...
対象をしっかり捕まえたんだ。潰されることはないだろう。ただ、今度の件で全て無事解決とまではいかなかったかな。
Referring to the money?
まあ、そこら辺は連中から聞き出すさ。お前たちはもう戻れ。明日も授業なんだろ。早く帰って今日は寝ろ。
Oh, they ain't getting sleep. Yes, sir.
お疲れさん。ゆっくり休んでくれ。
There we go. After returning to Nanami's room with her in my arms, I look out the window and check the surroundings. Doesn't seem like anyone's seen us. How's security looking?
こっちも平気。気づかれた様子はないよ。
Perfect.
今日はお疲れ様。
You too.
サトルくん、怪我とかしてない？
フローチャート画面だな。
Nope. As you probably know, we took them all out in the blink of an eye. They didn't even have time to attack me.
わかってるけど、一応ね、やっぱり彼女としては確認しておかないと。
Saying that, she begins gently touching my body in various places.
どう？痛くない？
Nope.
ここも？ここも？
Wait, don't!
痛い？
No, it tickles.
もう、びっくりさせないでよ。
Sorry. Either way, you're worrying over nothing, I'm telling you. I really didn't get hurt.
頭では分かってるつもりなんだけど。でも、心配だったんだもん。
She places her hand on my chest. It's as if she's directly checking my heartbeat.
前も、安心していいみたいなこと言ってたのに、いきなり爆発に巻き込まれて、何かあったらどうしようって。今日も、すごく心配だったんだから。
I'd have to remember that explosion was the final push that made Nanami confess her feelings to me. I can hardly blame her for getting anxious again. Plus, we're a couple now. That would only amplify her concerns. If our roles were swapped and she was the one in charge there, just imagining it fills me with dread. Since I know I'm fine, it's easy for me to call her concerns silly, but what I'm really doing is riding over her feelings. Sorry, Nanami. Not only did I worry her, I validated her fears by only looking at the situation from my perspective. To make up for that, I gently embraced her. Don't worry, I'm alright. Didn't even get a single scratch on me.
本当だ。いつものお兄ちゃんのぬくもりだ。
See? You can tell when I'm holding you like this, can't you?
ダメ。まだ足りない。もっと、お兄ちゃんのぬくもり、感じさせてほしい。
So they decided to fuck. She looks up at me with moist eyes. Naturally, I'm not stupid. I understand full well what she's getting at. Earlier today, during lunch break, she also rubbed my legs. But the lust she stirred up inside me back then is still smoldering within my chest. Not on me.
お兄ちゃん。
Slowly closed her eyes and I put my lips on hers. And then they fucked!
リドルジョーカー。
例の札束だがな、やはり連中のものだった。
フローチャート画面
What
で
the
す
fuck?
ね。
Mysterious money. Please, just...
例の札束だがな、やはり連中のものだった。カバンや紙幣から指紋を検出した。
Did you get them to fess up what they were doing, what they were for?
それに関してはまだだ。さすがにそう簡単には口を割らん。ただ、調べていく中で気になる情報を拾った。
That big?
以前に海外の大規模犯罪組織の話をしただろう。
Which one exactly? I obviously wouldn't forget anything work-related, but the thing is, there are quite a few organizations that qualify as big crime syndicates, and I'm not sure what she means.
念動力で原付なんかを盗んでいたガキどもの話だ。
Alright, they have a group that's supposedly engaging in human trafficking of astrals, you mean?
取引を行ったという情報が入った。詳細は不明だが、何かしらの情報を買い取ったらしい。
So the money was from the syndicate. Whatever the case, if they bought money from a secret organization, but if they bought information from a secret organization, that sure spells bad news.
構成メンバーの一部がすでに日本国内に潜入しているらしい。普通に考えれば 取引の内容に関係があるはずだ。
It's probably about the astrals that they kidnapped around the city. They were probably gonna cause a frenzy in them all, but they couldn't go ahead with that plan because of the whole, organization being taken down by the SFD. So the remaining people basically decided, you know what, fuck it, let's just sell them off. They seriously sell classified information to a crime group, though.
組織に所属している間にそんな裏切り行為を働けば、まず間違いなく吊るされるだろう。だが、連中の組織は俺たちの手ですでに潰しているからな。
Desperation, revenge, and money to flee. I guess they have more than enough reason to be selling valuable information at this point. Is there anything you want me to do?
お前にはあの倉庫の中のことをもう一度思い出して確認してほしい。何か手がかりになりそうなことや違和感がないかどうか。あの時の状況は記憶しているな。
Yeah, of course.
何か分かればすぐに報告を頼む。
Will do.
頼んだぞ。じゃあな。
Not that double checking's gonna do much of anything. There wasn't anything suspicious. If there was, I would have noticed it the first time. Still, I should at least check instead of assuming things. Well, I was right, I guess. Nothing sticks out. The surprise raid on the warehouse was a complete success by all standards. There also wasn't anything odd outside the warehouse. It was the only notable find. Dad's already working on that, so in other words, there's nothing further I need to report to him. Just get so AIDS in situations like these where you don't have the full picture of what's going on. Can't keep myself calm no matter what. Is this some kind of occupational disease or what? Seriously, hope nothing happens.
Satoru-kun, omatase.
Oh, hey. What do you want to eat today?
そうだね。とりあえず歩きながら考えよっか。今日もいい天気だね。
It really is.
サトルくん、なんか難しそうな顔をしてるけど、悩み事？
I'm gonna go walk around a little real quick and hope that somehow clears up my nose. I'm gonna be right back. Alright, I'm back. I found a nose spray actually. My nose feels a lot better and I got garlic bread now. So that's nice. Good shit. So anyways, yeah. He's frowning, so what? Nah, not exactly. I'm just thinking about a little something.
それってもしかして。
Yeah, I'm checking my memories on the raids and Dad asked me to.
何も気になることはなさそう？
Yeah, I keep going through my mental footage, but there's just nothing. But it's just nothing. And that's causing my brain to burn through calories like crazy. I'm a lot more hungry than usual.
しっかり食べないとね。何を食べよっか。
Moments like these make me realize the inconveniences of dorm life. Before coming here, I could have just asked you to surprise me.
それはそれで結構困るんですけど。
Look, I'm sorry. Your food's literally the best in the world, so I know I'll enjoy whatever's on my plate.
はいはい。ありがとう。でも、もしかしてサトルくんは昔の生活の方がいいの？
Well, we started dating after coming here, so I'd have to say no. That alone makes life here better than anything else.
はいはい。ありがとう。
The response is much the same, but the tone of her voice is very different.
またバカなこと言うんだから。
Complete contrast to the tone of her words, she breaks into a bashful smile. Damn, she's so cute. All I'm saying is, dorm life comes with a few downsides.
具体的には
I hardly ever get to eat your food. I'm not trying to be cheesy, I swear. I just really do miss your food.
何か言ってくれれば
Fuck, whoops.
バックログ画面で何か言ってくれれば作ってあげるよ。
In that case... How about curry? I haven't had yours in a while.
カレー
Why, is there a problem with that?
だってサトルくん困ったらすぐにカレーって言ってる気がするんだもん。
Well, I won't deny that I've done that a few times. The great thing about curry is you could eat it every day and never get sick of it.
今回
Really
の
good cake, though.
話の流れで適当に言ってるんじゃないの？
I do actually have other dishes I'd like to have, but there's a legitimate reason I picked curry. See, last time you cooked for me, you ended up having to cook for all of our friends too. The same thing will happen this time. Kyoi's already pestered me about it, as a matter of fact. Curry's an easy dish to make when you have to feed a lot of people, right?
なるほど。そういうことなら納得。じゃあ今度のお休みの日にでも作ろっか。お兄ちゃんがどうしてもって言うのなら。
I regret getting the garlic bread because now it's just like open in front of me and it's like staring me in the face, and I really want to eat more, but not during the recording. Sure, I'm definitely dying to eat your curry again.
わかった。
Boy, I can't wait. Nanami's curry. Damn, my mouth is already watering.
なんかやる気出ちゃうかも。ほんとお兄ちゃんは口がうまくて困るな。
Just tell me when you want to go shopping, I'll come with. We can have ourselves a little curry date. リドルジョーカー。
フローチャート画面だな。
Let's make curry. A few days passed, and the weekend arrived. Just as planned, we're going to enjoy Nanami's curry today with everyone else.
いやー、楽しみだな
ですね。ななみちゃんの手料理か。手料理って言っても普通のカレーだよ。でも美味しいんですよね。
Oh, it will, I guarantee.
ほら、先輩もこう言ってる。それに私もカレー好きだし。期待を裏切らないように頑張ります。
Fuck was that? That was weird. Just make it like you always do and it'll turn out fantastic. You know your stuff.
相変わらず熱々ですな。
食べさせてもらえるのはとっても嬉しくてありがたいんだけど。
本当にいいんですか？私たちの分まで作ってもらって。それだけの量を作るのは大変じゃないか？無理はしなくてもいいんだぞ。
平気です。これぐらいなら鍋も一つで済みますし、多めに作る方が味も良くなりますし、手間はそれほど変わりませんよ。それに家で作っていた時も家族3人2日3日は食べられる量を作ってましたから、そっちの方が慣れてます。
そうか、そういうことなら。
お言葉に甘えさせてもらいますね。はい。
何か手伝えることはある？作るのは慣れてても一人だと買い物が大変じゃない？
買い物にはサトルくんが付き合ってくれるので大丈夫です。
お、なるほど。お姉さん野暮なことを言ったね。
それならここは2人に任せましょうか。
Who's gonna be the moron?
そうだね。
それじゃあ材料費はお姉さんが持つよ。
気にしないでください。そもそもお兄ちゃんが作ってほしいって言ったんですから。
だとしても分けてもらう以上それぐらいはね。それぐらいした方が遠慮なく食べられるから。
だったら割り勘の方が私たちとしても助かるんですが。
それはほら、年上だから。まあ、言い出した私の顔を立てて、ね。
なら、手伝えることがあれば言ってくれ。
私も何か手伝わせてもらう方が美味しく食べられると思います。
ありがとうございます。それならよろしくお願いします。
お任せあれ。
Should probably get going before it gets too late, Nanami.
それじゃあ行ってきます。
いってらっしゃい。
Honestly, it feels like I've been recording for way longer already. After submitting the necessary notification for us to leave campus, Nanami and I head out to the grocery store. We shouldn't have to go all the way to the station, right?
少し歩いたところにスーパーがあるから。
Okay. Here. She stares blankly at the hand I'm stretching out towards her.
いいの？
Why not? We're a couple, so holding hands and when we go out is perfectly normal.
そうかもしれないけど、まさかサトルくんがそこまで気を回してくれるとは思ってなかったから。
She always has a way of indirectly insulting me with her every remark. It's nothing like that. Just want to hold hands with my girlfriend, that's all.
そっか、恋人だもんね。
We don't have to if you don't want me to. If you want to, though.
またつなぎたい。私もお兄ちゃんと手をつなぎたいってば。よろしくお願いします。
Panicking slightly, she takes hold of my hand.
お兄ちゃんの手、あったかいね。
Yours is a bit cold.
冷え性だから、これからの時期もっと冷たくなるかも。
Oh, don't worry, I'll warm them up for you with mine.
そんなこと言うなんて、なんかお兄ちゃんじゃないみたい。なんか気持ち悪い。
Come on.
でも嬉しいよ。行こっか。人参に玉ねぎに、お肉はどうしよう。豚、牛、鶏。お兄ちゃんは何がいい？
Pork's probably best since we'll need a lot.
了解。豚こまカレーだね。あとはブーケガルニがないか。
Found some bay leaves over there. Want them?
ああ、じゃあそれ取って。
Gotcha.
ありがとう、お兄ちゃん。あとはガラムマサラでスパイシーに仕上げて。あ、ちょっぴり辛めでも大丈夫かな？
You just ask them when we get back. Finding everything we need, we pay for the groceries and leave the supermarket.
それじゃあ早速帰って作らないと。
Here, give me the other bag too. I'll carry it.
一つ持ってくれてるだけで十分。両手が塞がっちゃうと手をつなげなくなっちゃうでしょ。だからね。
True. This time she's the one to hold out her hand. Take it firmly, and then we walk back towards the dorm.
大丈夫？重くない？そっちの袋の方がいっぱい入ってるでしょ？
Nope, I'm good. Are you doing okay? We're carrying yours.
それぐらい平気だよ。前は一人で買い物してたんだから。家事をしてるとね、これぐらいは持てないとお話にならないんだよ。
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Sometimes you'll see housewives with their hands full of bags, and you just can't wrap your mind around how they're able to carry all of them. Makes me realize just how hard you've been working for me and Dad. Seriously, thanks.
いいえ、どういたしまして。
This carry's gonna be great.
頑張る。さあ、やるぞ。
Frying herself up, we prepare to head back on campus. We near a corner, and suddenly a person walks out. Watch out! Nanami's so stunned that she almost falls over. Faster than I can think, I pull her back towards me. You okay?
平気。びっくりした。 ただけで足をくじいたりしたわけじゃないから。
Glad you're alright.
ありがとう、お兄ちゃん。
すみません。怪我はありませんか？
Oh, that's a part of the fucking syndicate, isn't it? The person that walked out looks at Nanami worryingly. Man seems to be a foreigner, and he has a rather large physique.
はい、平気です。
それはよかった。
And you're also fine,
は
sir?
い。ぶつかってはいませんので、驚かせてしまってすみません。
いえいえ、周りを見てなかったのは私ですから。それに怪我もしてないですから。
おお、彼氏に感謝します。
Just doing my job.
お前、ぼーっと歩いてるからだぞ。仕方ないだろう。観光ってのは風景を楽しむものなんだから。こいつが失礼しました。とろいやつで。
They're so part of the goddamn syndicate. Are you tourists,
はい、
perhaps?
そうです。いろいろ見ながら歩いていたせいで、本当にすみません。ところで、ここは博物館か何かではないんですか？中には入れないのですか？
ここはそういう施設じゃなくて、喫科学院っていう教育施設。学生が勉強をするところですよ。
So you can't really go in unless you have some sort of official business.
そうなのですか。面白そうな建物なのに残念です。ここじゃないみたいだな。そうらしい。
もしかして道に迷ったんですか？
そのようです。申し訳ありませんが、駅までの道を教えていただけませんか？
はい、構いませんよ。今来た道を反対にまっすぐ歩いて、3つ目の角を右に曲がってください。そしたら駅が左手に見えてきますから。
そうですか。助かりました。じゃあひとまず戻ってみるか。ありがとうございます。それではバイ。
Tourists smile and wave at us as they turn around and leave. It's so fucking obvious that they're part of the goddamn syndicate. They chat merrily, not looking back as they go on their way to the station.
どうしたの、サトルくん。
No, it's nothing.
じゃあ中に戻ろう。きっとみんな待ってるよ。
Right. As we start walking again, those two foreigners continue to linger in the back of my mind.
構成メンバーの一部がすでに日本国内に潜入しているらしい。普通に考えれば取引の内容に関係があるはずだ。
How would tourists be sightseeing in a remote section of the city with nothing to see? Those two men have actually been... I fully realize it's nothing more than a groundless presumption on my part. This is an actual, like, global syndicate we're talking about. You should be careful. You should, at the very least, report this. Since it is actually, like, confusing for, like, it's actually unnatural for, like, some tourists to kind of come here like, ah, yes, there's a museum. Oh, yeah, so we can't go inside. Oh, well, we were looking for the station. Anyways, it's entirely possible it was a simple coincidence. But what if it wasn't? I'm just too wary of people. It's a bad habit of mine.
サトルくん？
I'm just talking to myself. Let's hurry on back so we can get started on the curry. Joey's probably about to die of hunger.
そうだね。
いただきます。
I bring a spoonful of nice hot curry to my mouth. That's great. School curry is good in its own right, but Nanami's is simply on a whole other tier.
美味しいね。何か特別な調味料でも使ってるの？特には普通にスーパーなんかで売ってるものだけ。
それでこんなに美味しくなるんだ。へえ。
バラ肉なんかでもいいんですけど、油が多くなるのでちょっと注意が必要なんです。
ハチ。
つまりちょうどいいバランスが重要ということだな。
本当に美味しい。
Maybe the meat will actually get you some meat on your body.
これはスプーンが止まらないな。
こんなに美味しい料理を作れるだなんて。ななみちゃんは私の嫁に欲しいぐらいです。
これは毎日食べたくなっちゃうね。
ありがとうございます。こんな風にたくさん感想ももらえるのって嬉しいですね。
わあ、美味しかった。
What? Are you already finished?
美味しかったからつい黙々と食べちゃって。
今おかわりは？
いいよ、さすがにそれぐらいなら僕にだってできるんだから。作ってくれただけで十分だってば。
そうだぞ、ななみくん。後片付けなんかも任せてくれ。
そうですね。それぐらいはしておかないといけませんね。
さてと、おかわりおかわり。
By the way, Kyoe,
はい。
address him, and he replies with a spoonful of food in his mouth. You can keep eating while we talk, but there's something I want to ask you about. Does this town usually get many tourists?
観光客？どうだろう。アストラル研究都市って言っても、その研究が公表されてるわけじゃないからね。観光先としてはあんまり選ばれないと思うけど。
I thought. So you'd say foreign tourists would be a rare sight?
どちらかといえば珍しいんじゃないかな。ただ外国の人の旅行って数週間ぐらい滞在していろいろ回ることが多いらしいよ。だからアストラルに興味のある人がフラッと訪れて、特に見るものがなくてがっかりして帰ることも不思議じゃないんじゃないかな。一応アストラル科学館もあるけど。
Oh, really?
中心部にはね、基本的なことが展示されているだけの子供向けって感じだけど。でもプラネタリウムも併設されてるからデートにも使えるかもね。
Not really why I was asking, but I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for the info.
どういたしまして。本当にうまいなこのカレー。
So yeah, it struck me as a little odd. Have you learned anything specific about the syndicate members that have infiltrated?
いや、今のところその情報は来ていない。
What are your thoughts? I mean, I do realize it's a bit of a stretch, but still.
その二人は菊花学院を観察していたんだな。
From the looks of it, yeah.
もしかすると情報の確認をしていたのかもしれん。
What do you mean?
規制派の組織の内情は調べ終えている。あの二人が持っていそうな情報に目星もつけた。その中の一つに菊花学院の情報も含まれる。
Geek Academy information could be verifiable from the outside. Wait. Maybe what they sold to the syndicate was intel on the security? That would mean their objective is probably asked on research findings.
もしくはもっと直接的なものかもしれん。
Test subjects. They're still assessing your usefulness right now, but you can bet that if they end up liking your ability, they're gonna make you join them. Plus, even if you don't even if they don't want you, that doesn't mean you get to roam free. Here they also sell astrals on the black market. Words I once said to the scooter thief echo in my mind. I think their objective is to kidnap students. Would they really resort to such extreme measures, though?
複数の能力者。しかも強力な能力を有する人間を抑えられるなら可能性はなくはない。能力者を手に入れられる情報だとすれば、あの大金にも納得できる。
Damn, this is all so crazy to think about. Well, I did fear the worst. Alright, what should Levy 9 and I do?
おとなしくしていろ。単独で調べを入れて、お前たちがさらわれても俺が困る。お前たちも能力者なんだ。狙われる立場であることを忘れるなよ。
Understood. However, I'm a little concerned.
ああ、実地で下見をしているとなれば、おそらく猶予はないだろう。急いで調査を行っておく。
Thanks.
状況が状況だ。今まで以上に密な連絡を取り合おう。
After that, this is what we think it is. Something big might be about to happen.
リドルジョーカー。フローチャート画面だよ。
Change the plans. Oh boy. Waking up at my usual time, I quickly get changed and get ready to go jogging. After finishing my daily running on campus, I head back to my room. Alright, down with the routine status report. Haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary as of yet. While it's highly unlikely that any major developments have occurred over one night, I gotta make my report regardless. I switched out the SIM card to call Dad using our secure line. However, it's not picking up. I've never experienced this before. There's no friendly call. This is no friendly family call between a father and a son. This is a subordinate contacting his boss. The fact that he's not responding has to mean something. Not to be an eye on an undercover mission. To err on the side of caution, only a select few people have been informed of it. This is why I'm reporting to him directly instead of going through some intermediary. It's only during operations when mission control is in between. So technically speaking, it's plausible that he himself might not be able to answer calls at any given moment. But you'd think he'd inform me or something like that in advance. The fact that he didn't is a little suspicious. Call him one more time just in case. Continues to ring for a while. Because he's not picking up. The moment I mutter that, however, the ringing stops.
Satoru-ka!
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried you weren't going to pick up. Did something happen over there?
悪いが、詳しい説明をしている暇はない。とにかく、俺の言うことをよく聞け。
Got it.
この番号は破棄だ。SIM カードも処分しろ。可及的速やかに。いいな。ナナミが持っているカードも同様に。こちらから連絡を入れている余裕がない。
Right, but how are we supposed to keep in touch?
なんとかする。とにかく、こちらと連絡を取ろうとするな。別名あるまで、学生としておとなしくしていろ。いいな。これは命令だ。勝手に動くな。
Okay.
あとは、そうだな。風には気をつけろ。
Huh? Sure.
以上だ。じゃあ
Ah!
な。
He hung up before I even had the time to reply. This definitely isn't good. I've never witnessed him this flustered. Something serious must have gone down there. What was going on? He even told us to get rid of our SIM cards. It's not like sitting here thinking about it will get me anywhere. Just gotta do as he instructed me to. First things first, and have to go and talk to Nanami. After explaining everything to her, I come down to the canteen for breakfast. As I'm passing through the lobby, I see a group of students flocking around the TV. I spot Kyohei among them. Morning, did something happen?
Ah, Satoru. ほら、これ見て。
What? Look over to the TV. Everyone is focused on the news reporting airing.
この前の爆発、やっぱり事件だったみたいだよ。
鷲津市の倉庫を爆破した疑いで、清掃業者、陽勢清掃に警察の強制捜査が入りました。警察によりますと、この清掃業者は業務で使う薬品を使い、爆破したということです。その目的はまだ不明ですが、海外の犯罪組織とのつながりも疑われており。
What? Hold up. Yose Cleaning is the fake company we're masquerading as. So what does this mean? The SFD was discarded?
まさか本当にテロだったりして。
No, there's no way. That's just ridiculous. What kind of bullshit is this? We're the ones behind the explosion. We're the ones behind the explosion, and if that weren't bad enough, we have ties to the crime syndicate too? What the hell is going on here? How did it go, Nanami?
ごめん、やっぱりダメ。表に出てるニュースの情報しか集まらないよ。
Damn.
どうしよう。連絡してみるしかないかな。
No, he explicitly warned me not to. Dad has kept our undercover mission a secret, so it's highly unlikely that anyone knows yet that we're part of the SFD. Well, he's our father, so we'll be investigated regardless if he's arrested. Even so, we should still do everything we can to keep our cover. In a situation like that, we'd be able to get in contact with him, even if we tried.
でも、
Talking is hard.
だとしたらどうしたらいいの？
He told me to remain on standby until further orders.
こんな状況で待機って言われても。
I know how you feel. I want to rush to this aid just as much as you. Rush to his aid, I mean. But we don't even have a clear picture of what's transpired yet. If we try to act without knowing everything, we'll probably just worsen the situation.
それは、わかるけど。
I'll get a sense. I'll get a sensors.
どうするの？
I don't know if you remember, but there's a storage unit we're privately renting to communicate with one another in emergency situations like this, where we can't get in touch through normal means.
あったね。今まで一度も使ってないから忘れてた。
Yeah, but he may have left a message there. I'll go check today after school. You wait here for me. After I get back, we'll decide what to do.
でも
He might try to get in touch with us directly in some way, so I need you to remain here at the dorm in case of that. I'll call you once I'm there.
わかった。
After sitting in class antsy and on edge all day, our final class is finally dismissed. I immediately rush out to go to the dorm to change clothes and get ready. After leaving the dorm, I make a beeline for the light rail and hop on it. Since I want to go on a limited express train, I make my way over to the main station. Come on, hurry up and get to the station. I must have mentioned anything about arrests. Dad shouldn't be in custody right now. And if he's not, he definitely would have gone and left a message for us. This tantalizing impatience is consuming me. Maybe that was why my focus slipped and someone was able to sneak up behind me.
動くな。静かにして。騒ぐとまずいから。
Oi, what are you doing here?
あなたたちに伝言を頼まれたのよ。室長から。
What the hell happened to him?
話はここではできないよ。こっちもかなりヤバい立場でね。とりあえず次の駅で降りてくれる？よかったよ。どうやって連絡を取ろうか悩んでたんだ。君ら兄弟のスマホの回線は監視されてる可能性があるからね。
Managed to escape from yourself.
私も任務で潜入することが多かったから個人情報も隠されてるんだよ。で、室長からあなたたちへの説明を頼まれたわけ。今は私も連絡が取れないけどね。
Just what went down. Immediately inquire for details after making sure we aren't seeming inconspicuous. Aren't talking about this while passerbys are within earshot distance.
政府与党でもアストラル肯定派と規制派に分かれてるのは知ってるでしょ？
Wasn't that whole thing already resolved
そ
though?
れがね、山辺博介って政治家を知ってる？
Oh, I bet. Didn't he used to be a minister of some sort?
そう、結構な大物。
Don't tell me.
そのまさか向こうに山辺が関わってたみたいなんだけど、それだけの大物となるとそう簡単には切れないんだって。
In the ruling party, the anti-Astron politicians currently exist in harmony with their counterparts. Naturally, they all need to avoid a rift in the party if they want to maintain their positions. If Yamabe's name carries a lot of weight, that affects how we proceed to deal with this anti-Astron group. It doesn't sit right with me personally, but I understand the necessity. I mean, I get the police. I get that politics play part and all, but how does that relate to the current situation?
山辺も自分が追い詰められてることは理解してるからね。一発逆転を狙ってるのよ。室長には不透明な金の流れをでっち上げられてる。
It's ridiculous. I want that kind of money. Stop my senses. A frightening realization hits me. We confiscated the money from the warehouse. Is that where this all ties back to? Did they pin us? Did they pin us as the ones who engaged in business dealings with the crime syndicate?
海外の犯罪組織とのつながりっていうのはそういうことよ。
Yama leaked the SFT's existence. But why? What did he have to gain? Seems awfully roundabout for a simple act of revenge. Assuming his objective is something else, though. What would it be?
この騒動のおかげでうちらは完全に麻痺してる。動きが取れない。このタイミングで大きな事件が起きれば
Be no one to stop it. So that's it. Some major Astral-related incident would occur right now, damaging enough to shake society to its core. We'd be unable to stop it. It might drastically shift public opinion on the issue of astrals and astral technology. What it would take is something like a kidnapping of astrals. If the Mafia, for example, set their sights on astrals, it could lead to an increase in crime, and regular people might end up getting caught up in the violence. That would create the perfect situation for the government to monitor astrals, or even route them up and isolate them. They'd be doing so under the pretext of protecting them.
しかも起きた事件の責任は
うちらに被せられる可能性が高い。
What?
政権を守るためよ。事件が起きた時、世間を欺き、批判の矛先をそらす必要がある。ちょうどタイミングよく、それに適した組織がある。犯人は外国マフィアの仕業。連中に買収された人間がいて、組織全体の手引きがあった。
So we'd be the sacrificial lamb to mitigate the damage. The SFD, by its very nature, is an organization whose existence cannot be made public. The country would be in an uproar if they were told members of the government secretly founded an organization based around astrals. Accordingly, the higher-ups will deny any sort of connection to us. If some major incident occurs and shakes society to its core, the anti-astral group can make a resurgence. On the other hand, if the higher-ups protect the SFD in order to prevent this from happening, they'll be accused of colluding with criminal organizations. In other words, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't type of... It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. Which is just what Yamabe wants. No matter what happens, his political career is going to be over. So essentially, he's just looking to smear his opponents before he goes out. Damn, it's crazy to think a politician would give up on re-election to just drag all his opponents to the mud with him.
そうすれば勝者はいなくなる。まさに、ちゃぶ台返しね。
It's even worse than that. If the anti-Astron group makes a resurgence, there's a chance Yamabe can regain his popularity. We can't just sit around and wait for that to happen. We gotta do something.
それで、室長からの命令。
Right.
おとなしくしてろ。
Huh?
今回の件は、すでに室長の首が飛ぶ程度じゃ済まないの。所属していた者全員が危ないの。
Yes, but that's exactly why we need to act.
すでに組織は動けない。他の助けもなく、何ができる？個人の力でできることなんて、たかが知れてる。
Well...
気づかれれば同じく処分されるだけ。室長は親として、君ら兄弟にはこのまま学生として、普通に生きてほしいんだと思うよ。あと、念のためにって、室長から渡すように言われたものがある。身分証、2人分。任務のために作ったものじゃないから、足はつかないだろうって。最悪の場合、これを使って2人で逃げろってさ。
Can't be serious.
じゃ、確かに渡したからね。
That OS starts walking towards the constant stream of people. What are you gonna do now?
言ったでしょ？個人の力でできることなんて、たかが知れてるって。
She casually waves her hand back at me and quickly blends into the crowd. All I can do is stand there and watch her leave.
そんな。
Nanami is rendered speechless after hearing everything, just like I was.
何か、阻止する方法はないの？
Of course, I'd also like to do something about it. However, with no organization to back us, Nanami and I are effectively just two astrals. Sure, Nanami is a genius with technology, but the problem is we don't even know what we're supposed to do. Worst of all, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen very soon. And once it's all said and done, the truth won't matter. Everything will be blamed on the SFD, and the incident will be buried into the ground. I think Dad wants us to just run away. He gave us the ID cards for that purpose.
それって、前とは違うよね。この学院に編入した時とは違う。完全に過去を捨てて、今のつながりを全部捨てるってことだよね。
Exactly. If we don't get rid of all traces, they could track us down.
そうだよね。私たちがいなくなっても、学院が襲われる可能性は残ったままなんだよね。
Can't say for sure if it'll happen either way. It's all just speculation.
でも万が一、もし本当にそんなことになったら。
I wouldn't be able to turn a blind eye to it, of course. That being said, we'd be up against a mob organization that's actually acting in a planned, coordinated fashion. Stopping them myself would be nigh impossible. Unlikely I'd end up being caught by them.
サトルくんは逃げるべきだと思う。
Oh no.
そっか。
On a purely emotional level, my answer is an emphatic no. That should go without saying. However, I don't have any answers to the questions of what we can do and how. If we fell into the hands of that foreign mafia, we could get any idea of a happy life goodbye. Maybe I should just have Nanami flee while I stay. Considering all options, even ones I wish I didn't have to. My mind's still a chaotic mess after my conversation with Oe. Let me calm down a bit and sort out my thoughts. Sorry.
そうだよね。そりゃ混乱するよね。焦らせちゃってごめんなさい。
It's all good.
ねえ、お兄ちゃん。今日は一緒に寝てもいい？
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'll probably be too anxious to sleep by myself too.
お兄ちゃん、起きてる？
Yeah, I am.
あ、今日はなんか素直。
I can't joke around in a situation like this. That's still a jumbled mess. Silence falls once more.
フローチャート画
Still
面です
changing
ね。
plans. My god. Time ticks by with neither of us saying a word. However, even when closing my eyes, I don't feel a hint of drowsiness. Thoughts just keep coming back to the things always said to me.
ねえ、お兄ちゃん。私たちにできることってないのかな？
Given the situation Dad and the others are in, it'll be hard enough just saving our own skin. There's no chance we'll be able to fight back.
だよね。
If we tried to do something, there's a chance our identities as SFD agents would be exposed. If we tried to stop the kidnapping all by ourselves, we'd probably just get captured.
そうだね。きっとお父さんの言う通り、おとなしくしてるのが一番賢いんだろうね。
Couldn't object, thus responded to her with silence.
お兄ちゃん。
Yeah?
私ね、お兄ちゃんのことが好き。大好き。
Love you too.
昔からお兄ちゃんのことが好きで、お兄ちゃんのそばにいたくて、お兄ちゃんを追いかけて、
Something tells me they're gonna
突版にも入った。
Oops, sorry about that. Something tells me they're gonna recruit the others and to help them basically secure the perimeter or something.
恋人になれて、とっても幸せで、お兄ちゃんと一緒にいられるだけで幸せだよ。
Yeah, I feel the same.
うん。お兄ちゃんがいてくれればいいって思ってた。でも違ってたみたい。そうじゃなかった。お兄ちゃんにそばにいてほしい。でもお兄ちゃんさえいればいいっていうのは違ってた。私は今が好き。
The present?
大好きなお兄ちゃんがいて、お父さんがいて、昔と違って私には家族がいてくれる。この学院には親友って言ってくれる千咲ちゃんや、優しくしてくれる先輩たち、友達もいる。
Right.
昔のあの頃に戻るのは、一人になるのは嫌だよ。お兄ちゃん。
Yeah, I know. I'm capable of protecting Nanami by myself. If I throw everything away and run away along with her, we'll be fine. I'll protect the girl I love myself. You're right. Problem is, there are there's no happy life awaiting us if we choose that route. There are a myriad of reasons why we're both happy right now. Running away with Nanami means losing a lot of those, which defeats the entire point of it. Our lives here at the Academy are precious to us. I get to spend time with all my friends. Koei, Tsukasa, Nijuin, Mayu, Mibu. Also my sweet girlfriend Nanami. In addition to that, I have Dad, who's my family, and all my work colleagues too. Losing any one of them would cause this current happiness to slip away from me. And I'd never get it back. Right? I'm your brother, Nanami. It's a brother's duty to protect his little sister. After coming to this academy, I finally obtained something so dear to me that I want to protect it at all costs. Can't give up on the happiness I have in this present. If that's what you want, then I'll just have to make it happen somehow. Oh, come on, don't ruin the fucking moment like that. That's definitely not a compliment. Well, if you say so. Nami's feeling better now, and that's all that matters. I'm feeling better as well. I don't know if it's because I have a clear-cut goal now, or what, but I'm brimming with so much motivation that it's hard to believe I was depressed and at my wit's end mere minutes ago. It's crazy how my mood can change so drastically and so quickly if it involves Nanami. Man, my sister complex might be worse than I thought. That still doesn't sound anything like a compliment. Thanks, Nanami. Those words alone give me the strength to move mountains. Hold on, let me try it again. Thanks, Nanami. Those words alone there give me the strength to move mountains. Just believe in me. And if we've decided what to do, we need to act. The clock's ticking down. First of all, we need to access the AIMS database, so I'll need your help for that. I want you to grab images of those two foreigners' faces using the security camera footage. Once you have those, do an image search in the AIMS database. It should surely have a search function like that, right? Many groups utilize the AIMS database, including law enforcement. It's designed specifically to be used domestically, but I do believe it also contains information from foreign countries. Assuming their objective is to kidnap astrals, it would make sense for them to be fairly strong astrals themselves. With that in mind, there's a good chance we might find data on them in the AIMS. If all goes well, we might even get access to the police database using AIMS as the gateway. Since we have no backup, we have to try everything we can. She switches into series mode and begins operating her tablet. If anyone can do it, it's you. I'm counting on you. Apprehending Yamabe is out of the question for me and Nanami. We also have no real clue how to turn the situation in our favor. In that case, there's only one thing to do. Preventing the initial incident that the SFD is going to be blamed for. For starters, we need to confirm whether what Dad and I feared might happen really is about to go down. If those two tourists turn out to be unrelated, we'll be back to square one. It will make the situation 10 times more grim for us. Kind of ironic that we have to bank on a mass kidnapping happening. Pretty much the worst case scenario. Yeah, I'm alright. What were they doing before we ran into them?
でもその割には監視カメラにはっきりと映ってないんだよね。偶然にしてはできすぎなぐらい。
They must have known where the cameras were positioned beforehand and intentionally avoided them.
その可能性は十分あると思うよ。
So chances are they were here to verify their intel. Did you find any footage good enough for an image search?
ちょっと待って。これならギリギリいけるかな。
Give it a try. Is it gonna take time?
ちょっと予測できないかな。国外に絞ってもそれなりには登録数があるから。それにこの画像で検索にヒットするかもちょっと微妙かも。
True. What we can do is wait and see. We cross our fingers in silence as we keep our eyes glued to the search screen. Faces pop up, then disappear, one after another at an alarmingly fast rate. Mere minutes feel like an hour to us. This tantalizing wait continues for a while, and eventually we see something.
ヒットした。
That's definitely him. This search result also contained information on what crime organization he belongs to, and I'm quite familiar with it. They engage in everything from takeovers of companies to drug dealing, money laundering, and even weapon smuggling. These days, their weapon smuggling business has even extended to Astros. They sell them as high-priced luxury goods, from what I've been told. The guy is registered as a criminal, as I expected. There's no information saying what his ability is, or even if he's an Astral.
お兄ちゃん、やっぱりこれ。
There's no room for anymore. There's no room for that anymore. Ma, don't frown. We'll stop him, I promise. There's no way we can let these guys get away with what they're about to do.
リドルジョーカー。
Talked big, but in
フローチャー
reality,
ト画面だな。
Satoru's transformation. What? Is he gonna go Super Saiyan? Just what are we supposed to do? They're already hard pressed on time. They've scouted out the area and should have more members beyond just those two lurking in Washi's city. It would be unreasonable to expect them to strike in the first few days, perhaps even today. They obviously aren't going to straight up storm the academy through the front gate. After quietly creeping in at night, they'll kidnap a number of students and pull out. We should also assume that they're prepared to use force in the event that they're discovered. So if they're looking to pull this off as quickly as they possibly... If they're looking to pull this off as quickly as they possibly can, how many people would they send in? Maybe an Astral, but my ability is brain control. Fighting multiple foes at once is my forte. Not only are there numerous holes in its security, each of the 4 dorms has Astrals living in them. There's no way I'll be able to stop them on my own.
やはり変だ。今日はずっとピリピリしている。
そうだね。何か悩み事かな。
ついこの前まであんなに嬉しそうだったのに。
スオは何か知らないか？
残念ながら何も聞いてないね。
きっとナナミちゃんのことですよ。
もしかして喧嘩でもしたのかな？
びっくりした。
千咲さんに式部先輩までどうしたんです？
ナナミちゃんの雰囲気が暗いんですよ。今の先輩と同じように重苦しいため息をついて何か考え込んでるみたいで。
さっき教室を通りかかった時に見たけど、確かにあれは変だった。
そのこと本人に確認は？
もちろんしました。大丈夫としか答えてくれませんでしたけど、無理に笑ってるのがよくわかるから余計に気になるんですよね。
あの雰囲気だと単純な喧嘩とは違うかもね。もっと深刻な感じがする。
僕らが考えてても答えは出ない。こういう場合は本人に直接聞くしかないよ。サトル、おーいサトル
Oh, Kyoan, what's wrong?
いやいや、それこっちのセリフだから。 どうかしているのは有原くんの方でしょ。
今日の態度は変だぞ。
Well,
ななみちゃんも雰囲気がいつもと違うんですよね。
何か悩み事があるんじゃないの？
私でよければ悩みを打ち明けてくれ。
話すだけでも楽になることってあるしね。
先輩やななみちゃんが暗いままだと気になって仕方ないんです。
僕らの調子も狂うんだよね。
前にも言ったじゃない。二人の雰囲気が変だと周りにいる私たちの方が心臓に悪いって。
だから何かあるなら言ってほしいんだ。
私たちで力になれることはありますか？
This is SFD's problem, my problem. There's a lot of danger involved, so I can't drag them into this. Them knowing that there's gotta be a mass kidnapping would actually decrease their danger in a sense. I joined the SFD despite Dad's opposition because I wanted to protect others with my powers. There's no way I could willingly be exposed to the danger, so there's... Words that leave my mouth are in direct contrast to my thoughts. I need your help. I get up and bow my head to them. In all honesty, it'll be dangerous. You might even end up getting hurt. I want to drag you guys into this, but I just can't think of any way out of without relying on you all. I'm putting everyone in harm's way in order to protect them. It's such an extreme contradiction, and I curse my own powerlessness. Even so, it's the only way. I can't do it without you. I'm biting my lip to the point of pain, but still I continue bowing my head while biting it. They're all rendered speechless at the sight.
驚いた。そうだね。まさかそんな素直になるとは。
ダメ元のつもりだったのに。
どうしたんです？何か悪いものでも食べました？
みんなひどいな。有原くんがこうして頼ってくれているんだぞ。
ああ、いや、ついね。
ごめん。茶化すつもりはなかったんだ。
ただ純粋に驚いてしまって。それで有原くんが私たちの力を借りたいのは一体どんな悩みなんですか？
This isn't something we can discuss in a classroom. As such, we all gathered in my room, where I then told them everything. And their reactions? It's expected they're all dumbstruck.
海外のマフィアが早晩この学院を襲撃する。
そしてアストラル使いを拉致、商品として売り払われる。
なんか海外ドラマみたいな話ですね。
そういう噂や都市伝説はあるけど、試着室の隠し扉でとか。
前に偉い政治家さんが否定してましたよ。アストラル使いが拉致されてる事実はないって。
山部博介でしょそれ。覚えてる。当時のワイドショーはそれで賑わったもん。
ないって言ってたけど、本当にあったんだ。
Believe me, I know it sounds hard to stomach.
でも嘘や冗談で言ってるわけじゃないんです。
まあそうだろうね。こんな荒唐無稽な話で騙すことに意味はないだろうし。
騙そうとするならもっと信じやすい話をすればいいだろうしね。
とにかくそれほど危険でのっぴきならぬ状況なんだな。
Yeah. Want to do something about it. Just nothing I can do on my own. I can't stop them.
ちなみに警察に言うんじゃダメなんですか？
It's the logical solution, but I don't have any concrete proof to give them. So I can't reveal the source of my information for certain reasons.
とするとただのいたずらって思われそうですね。
それにこっちが警戒してるって気づかれたら犯人が逃げてもっと厄介にならない？今度はいつ襲ってくるかわからない状況になりそう。
Right. They might even start targeting students while they're out around town.
それはそうかもしれないな。
I know it's selfish, but I want to resolve this without anyone ever knowing it happened.
どうして人知れずなのかも。
Sorry, I can't tell you.
なるほど。
Mitsukasu already knows that I belong to some shady organization. It's like, oh, she only reacted with a light nod.
三笠さんは今の話だけで納得できたのか？
いえ、別に納得したわけではなくて、そこを追求しても。
ああ、
Fuck, whoops.
そういうことか。
Sorry about that, Ayase.
とりあえずまずは話をまとめよう。その1、海外マフィアが菊花学院を襲撃、アストラル使いの拉致を目論んでいる。ただし情報の信頼性を証明することはできない。その2、その危機は迫っていて一刻を争う状況である。その3、今回のことがたとえ噂でも世間に広まるようなことは避けるため人知れず解決をしたい。その4、今後のことを考えると犯人たちはここで捕らえておきたい。そのためセキュリティの穴はそのままでなければならない。以上のことよりサトルくんとナナミちゃんの言葉を無条件に信じられる限られた人間だけで対応しなければならない。ってことで間違いない？
Yeah, you did.
間違いありません。
Nanami and I nod with solemn expressions. Hearing it all in condensed form like that, it becomes evident how ridiculous our plan really is. One blame them for wanting no part in this whatsoever. Even so, begging for their help is the only thing we can do. We realize that there are still tons of unanswered questions for you guys. And it all sounds preposterous. It could be incredibly dangerous for you to get involved in. Perfectly aware that we're asking for a lot. But even so, we'd like to ask for your cooperation. Please.
そうだね。とっても虫のいい話だね。
式部先輩、どうしてそんなことを言うんですか？
どうしても何も事情は言えない、説明できない、でも助けてほしいなんて簡単には納得できないでしょ。
ですが、
だから今回のこれは貸しだよ。
What do you mean?
今回の件が片付いたらナナミちゃんにはまた美味しい餃子を作ってもらいたい。あれ美味しかったからまた食べたいんだよね。
先輩、私なんかの料理でよければ頑張って作ります。精一杯作ります。
オッケー。それなら交渉成立。
Are you sure?
頼んでおいて今さら疑るってのはどうなのさ。
No, I wasn't trying to do that.
料理するぐらい貸し借りがなくても別に。
ここが狙われてるなら私たちも無関係では済まないしね。それぐらいでちょうどいいんじゃない？困ってるなら力を貸すよ。それに素直に頼ってくれるのは嬉しいしね。
式部先輩、それなら最初から素直に言ってもよかったのでは？
そうかもしれないけど納得してないのは本当だから、それぐらいは釘を刺しておこうかとね。
それはまあわからないではないですが。ああ、返事が遅れたが、もちろん私も力を貸そう。
私も構いませんよ。
Mikasa.
気にしないでください。借りがあるのは私の方なんです。
Thanks.
ああ、手伝うのはいいんだけど、能力が使えない一般人でもいい？
Don't worry, take this gun. Why do you have a gun?
逆に邪魔になっちゃわないか。それだけが心配ですね。でもそんな私でよければもちろんお手伝いしますよ。
うん。拉致なんて見過ごすわけにはいかないしね。
Thank you guys so much.
ありがとうございます。
Nanami and I both bow our heads deeply. It's not like we specifically intended to. It just happened as we were overcome by emotion. We really owe you guys.
いいよ。代わりに料理を作ってもらうんだしね。
自分たちにも関わることです。
こんなのは当たり前のことだ。
I'm really thirsty, but I can't drink too much since there's only one bottle left and it needs to, last until tomorrow 6 p.m. Roughly. Which is bad.
それより時間ないんだろ。
早く対策を考えないと。
We raise our heads to see them all smiling warmly at us. It's Kasa, Nijin, Mayu, Mimu, and Kyohei. They're all ready to give their all to help me and Nanami.
お兄ちゃん。
Yeah. All we can do is nod and say that one word. I'm so overwhelmed with emotion right now that I can't speak.
リドルジョーカー。
Like, just how
画面ですね。
intriguing the story is, this is winning hard right now. Like, the whole shit, everything is being turned on its head right now. Just like, out of all the stories, this one is currently like the best from the general plot. Back when I was a kid, I loathed the fact that I was born an astral. How was I given these powers? I always told myself that I was looking for an answer to that question. I realized that it wasn't anything like that at all. What I wanted was some grandiose purpose in life, or a hidden significance behind my birth. I was just envious. I was envious of those who had a normal life. Those who had family and friends. Being an astral, I wasn't allowed those things. Since I didn't want to admit it was simple jealousy, I fooled myself into believing it was something else. So I tried so hard to find something that would allow me to accept myself for what I was. Something that required me being an astral. Deep down, I was the same as Nanami. When I bowed my head to everyone earlier, I thought I bit my lip out of frustration. I thought I was upset at my own powerlessness. But I was wrong. I was out of fear. What if they lashed out at me for not telling them the truth about myself? I might have had to face rejection again. I would have lost my friends, and along with it, the normalcy I'd finally managed to attain. That didn't happen, though. They accepted me without second thought, and without second thought at that. It's what I've always wanted for so long. And I'm not letting anyone take it away.
フローチャート
So
画
that
面だ
was
よ。
what was meant by Satoru's transformation. He'd like stop being up his ass about shit. I won't let them take away my friends. I'll take back my family. I'll protect the girl that I love. There's gonna be a battle to protect and reclaim. A battle I fight for myself.
随分と簡単なもんだな。最新鋭のアストラルの施設なんだろ。他の国ならもっと厳重に管理してるってのに。そこら辺も平和ボケってやつじゃないのか。それに俺たちの狙いは研究じゃない。子供だろ。研究施設の方はもっと警備が固いかもしれないぜ。そういうもんかね。
無駄口を叩くな。気を抜きすぎだぞ。
そう言っても寝てるガキをさらうだけだろ。こんな簡単な仕事失敗するわけない。
そのおごりが気を抜きすぎていると言っている。
まあ待てって。説教なら後にしよう。時間の無駄だ。
Hold up, is this?
まあ待てって。説教なら後にしよう。時間の無駄だ。
For a second I thought this might be Nishiki's voice actor. Which would have been funny. Kinda.
わかった。
で、狙いのガキどもが寝ているのはどこなんだ？
もうすぐ建物が見えてくる。建物のセキュリティは大したことない。
あとは寝てるガキどもに薬を打って寝かしつけたまま運び出すだけか。ほらな、簡単な仕事だ。
そのセリフはせめて仕事を終えてから。待て、なんだ、白いもやが。
Using the fog as cover, I quickly closed the gap between them and me. With unerring precision, I deliver blows to their vital spots, one in their temple, another in their solar plexus. The very next moment, the men collapsed on to the ground. They didn't even have the time to brace themselves amid the confusion. That's 3 down. As I say that, the fog around me clears up.
無事に終わったみたいだね。
成功してよかった。 私の能力で霧を発生させるなんて初めてで、うまくいくかどうか不安だったんだが。
Thanks, you're the reason I was able to take out those guys so easily.
そう言ってもらえると。
ほらほら、二人とも口より手を動かす。早く拘束しないと。
ああ、そうだな。
We proceed to tie up their arms and legs in addition to their bodies to make sure they can't move whatsoever. Finally, I searched their breast pockets. Naturally, there's nothing that would identify them stowed away in there, but instead, there we go. Unlabeled syringe pens. And then inject whatever's in them into the men.
それさ、何の薬なの？
No clue, but I doubt it's anything good.
そんな薬を打って大丈夫なのか？
Like, Ah, drugs. You don't know what's in that. No, I have no fucking clue, but sure as hell ain't good. It's fine.
自業自得ということか。だとしても、いくらなんでも。
No, that's not why. Remember, they aren't here to kill astrals.
ああ、そっか。後々利用するのなら、後遺症が残るような薬は使わないか。
Judging from what I've overheard, it's some type of sleeping drug to prevent their targets from waking up while they transport them. Perfect for taking them out of commission until the whole thing is done and over with. We're right, Nanami. They have shots with a sedative on them. Tell everyone to search their breast pockets as we discussed.
了解。
水の糸が切れたな。おそらくまだ来るぞ。
はい、把握してます。想定してたルートを通ってそちらに東から3人向かってます。了解。綾瀬先輩、準備はいいですか？
確認ですが、他に人はいないんですよね。
先生たちには私の方から説明してる。アストラル研究の一環で大規模実験を行うって。まあ適当な理由でっち上げといたから。二条院さんが一緒だから警備もこちらで対応しますって言ったら納得してくれたよ。以前にも警備に協力してたからね。安心して任せてくれた。
そのおかげで警備の人もここいらはちゃんと避けてますね。
わかりました。では。は
あ！なんだ？急に引っ張られて！しまった！アストラル能力だ！絶対よ！だがこれじゃ動けないぞ！
式部先輩、あれぐらい密着させればいいですか？
うん、十分。あれぐらいの空間なら私の能力で密閉できる。締めはこのスタングレネードで。
that look is like she's looking forward to using this. I always wanted to use one of these.
よし、成功！
早く拘束してしまいましょう。
こっちも3人と。
怪我はありませんか？
平気だよ。予定通りに運んだから。
でもすごいんですね。スタングレネードって式部先輩の能力で遮音されてたから分かりませんけど、どれぐらいすごい音なんでしょうね。
大人の男の人が丸まって何もできないところを見ると経験はしたくありませんね。
あとスタンガンとかも渡されましたけど、先輩とななみちゃんこんなのどこで手に入れたんだろう。
They gave me a stun gun. That's not a stun gun. That's a laser pistol. Ah!
そこら辺の詮索はしないって約束です。
でしたね。すみません。
蛇の道は蛇。それより時間ないよ。次に行かないと。
The bottom line is, everything is going as smoothly as can be.
これで
9。
We launched consecutive surprise attacks with our astral abilities. Moreover, they seem convinced that no one could possibly be onto their plans, or their guard is completely down. They don't even notice the water threads that Nijuin put up beforehand.
Judy!
We were successfully subduing intruder after intruder without sustaining any injuries on our side whatsoever.
なんだこれは。情報は嘘だったのか。罠だったのか。警察にそれらしい動きはなかった。今だっても動いてる気配はない。だったらなぜ他の連中と連絡が取れなくなる。それはさらうはずだったアストラル使いのガキどもに反撃を受けた可能性がこの短時間で全員がありえない。何しろこうなった以上長いは無用だ。引き上げよう。ダメでした、ごめんなさいって報告するのか。優しいママに慰めてもらえるといいな。山辺の情報に問題があったんだ。このまま立ち尽くしていても仕方ないだろう。分かった。とにかく今はしまった。なんだ霧か。バカ野郎。雨も降ってないのにいきなり霧が出るわけないだろう。これはアストラル能力。
Sink my elbow deep into the guy's solar plexus. He clutched his stomach as he falls to his knees. Without wasting a second, I deliver an additional blow to his head since he so kindly lowered it for me. The guy then collapses on the ground with a loud thud. Just one more to go. He managed to dodge that. The fist was aimed for his chin, yet it only swung through empty air. How do you see the blow coming in this fog? All the area is veiled in a heavy fog, yet the man remains undaunted. He sprints off as fast as he can. His movements give a good reason to believe he can see his surroundings clearly. Adrian, undo the fog! The fog immediately clears and gives me clear vision of my surroundings again, but the man is long gone. Everyone escape, sorry! Gotta be an astral ability. Something like clairvoyance, perhaps? I also recall hearing that voice before. He's one of the guys we met in front of the academy. So I guess they sent him out as a scout because he's got an optical ability. What's the situation looking like, Nanami?
今取り逃がした一人以外は全員拘束を終えたよ。
Alright. What about the guy who managed to escape?
ちゃんと追ってる。運送会社に偽装したトラックに乗り込んで南に向かってる。
Any way to pursue him?
トラックと一緒にこの人たちが乗ってきた車があるよ。
Perfect, I'll use that then.
まさか追いかけるつもりなのか？
Yeah, I can't let him get away.
他はみんな捕まえたんだし、今さら何もできないと思うけど。
People resort to desperate measures in desperate times. I don't want him to try anything crazy in public. That'd ruin everything.
それは。
Don't worry about me, I'll be fine.
一人では危険だ。私も行こう。
Thanks, but that won't be necessary. I'll manage on my own from here. So far we've been ambushing them, but our positions will be reversed once we're the ones on pursuit. They could have a trap laid out for us. Rushing head first into a potential trap with everyone would be nothing short of stupid.
いや、だが
I'm not underestimating my opponent, nor do I have a death wish. The reason why I need to go alone is purely because it'll make things easier. Don't worry, I'll come back in one piece. I know there's a lot to ask for again, but could you please believe in me? Speak my words gently, yet emphatically. Nidrin grimaces, but she doesn't try to argue back.
分かった。
I'm going after him, Nanami.
でもお兄ちゃん
I'll be fine. Look after John with me. I know you'll keep me safe no matter what happens. Promise I'll come back to you safe and sound.
分かった。待ってるからね、お兄ちゃん。
See you soon, Nanami.
ちくしょう、ちくしょう、ちくしょう。なんだってこんなことになったんだ。ガキをさらって商品を仕入れる簡単な仕事のはずだった。なのに何なんだ。しかもこんなとこまで追ってきやがって。出てこい。能力で隠れてるつもりだろうが俺には見えてんだよ。
That's right, he definitely has some sort of optical ability. Despite the fact that I'm invisible right now, his gaze is locked on to me.
くさったれ。
Give up, pal, you're done
お
for.
前のことは知ってるぞ。買った情報で見たぞ。有原悟、 能力は身体強化。父親と妹がいて、妹も能力者だ。そうだろう。分かってんだよ。ただじゃ済まさない。お前は殺す。絶対殺す。そして、お前の家族も、生まれてきたことを後悔するような目に合わせてやるからな。
Guess I'll just have to capture you right here and now then. You're not getting away. The guy's mouth slowly opens. Thought he was doing this to respond, but I was wrong.
何言ってんのか聞こえないんだよ。このクソガキ!
What the? The next second, an explosion erupts from his open mouth. Not a physical explosion, but an auditory explosion. A near-splitting sound reverberates through the warehouse. The volume is so immense that it makes not just the walls and windows shake, but the very air itself. The sound was emitted from the guy's mouth. When you're in a room with him like I am now, it completely knocks out your hearing just like a stun grenade.
身体強化の単純バカが。どうせ俺の能力が千里眼か何かだと思ってたんだろう。俺の能力は自分の発する音の操作なんだよ。
So basically he used echolocation. Bastard played me. He wasn't using some sort of clairvoyance to see me. It was a form of echolocation all along.
でも耳鳴りとめまいでわけわかんないだろうがな。そのまま死ね。
After pulling out a gun, he immediately pulls the trigger without hesitation. Since I'm still in a state of panic from the unexpected attack, he'll be able to kill me with ease. Or so he thinks. I roll over on the ground and somehow manage to avoid the bullet. He looks at me wide-eyed in disbelief. Since he's under the impression that my ability is physical enhancement, he can't possibly fathom how I did that. He never imagined that I shut off my sense of hearing by manipulating my brain. Even with that, no, I can't undo the damage I sustained from the sonic attack. Shit! There's a dull throbbing pain in my ears. My sense of balance is slightly out of whack. My vision is shaky, preventing me from moving properly. Other than saying I dodged the bullet, it's more apt to say his negligence allowed me to catch a lucky break.
動けるみたいだが、影響がないわけじゃなさそうだな。驚かせやがって。なら、もう一発。ダメ押しだ。
Another ear-splitting sound rings out, causing a violent pain inside my ears. I would just, like, keep it off. It isn't worse than substantially, and I feel my gastric juices shoot up. Try to get to my feet somehow, but my knees are wobbling too much. Fuck, this is bad. My ears damaged. Can't do the shit. I can't do shit to fix this with my ability.
これだけ浴びせれば頭の中ぐしゃぐしゃだろ。あとは。
While I'm on the ground on my knees, my vision's spinning. A gun barrel points straight at. The guy calmly walks closer until he's at a close enough distance that his shot won't miss. Can't afford to die here, I promise, Nanami. He promptly fired his gun. But his bullet misses its mark yet again. Not because I got lucky. He leaped back with such agility you'd never believe I was dizzy in the first place. He has memory fiber with Nanami's ability, doesn't he? His eyes widened, and for a good reason, considering I couldn't move a muscle just moments ago, and my agile movements seemed downright unbelievable. He fires shot after shot, but they all miss. I activate my ability, dig my heels into the ground with all my might, and leap around the warehouse. All of his shots continue to miss. However, that's less due to me dodging them and more thanks to him. His hand's shaking because he's fell into a panic. I'm just your average astral. Someone who cherishes his family, friends, his little sister, and wants to protect all of them. I'm just your normal average brother. I'm just your normal average brother. I leap forward, stepping into close range, and put my back into it and sling my right fist forward. A powerful straight right connects. Sends the guy flying until he lands and rolls over the cold concrete ground. He feebly repeats that question to himself as he lies sprawled out on the ground, staring at the warehouse ceiling. Well, I guess I guess I also might be a bit of a Siscon. I'm not sure if you could still hear me, but after a few seconds of convulsing, he lost consciousness. It's over. It was more of a close call than I would have liked. But I managed to get him. I'd more than likely be dead right now if my sense of balance hadn't returned. She saved my ass. She saves my ass time and time again. To elaborate, it was all thanks to the charm I had on me. It was a piece of memory fiber that had Nanami's ability infused into it. I was able to heal the damage and thus recover from the dizziness, all because of it. Thanks, Nanami. Researchers have looked into infusing memory fiber with healing abilities, but it was abandoned as a project because it's next to impossible to make them general purpose. But if you don't care about the general purpose aspect, it's something that can be done. Nanami and I have lived together since childhood, and we even now made love, so she's very familiar with my body. Additionally, she's healed me via her ability countless times throughout the years. I've keenly memorized the sensation. As such, I know exactly how much warmth spread throughout my body relative to the severity of the injury. In other words, if we narrow the effectiveness down to just one person, me, it's possible to replicate the effect of Nanami's healing powers. That being said, it's still a pretty heavy-handed approach, and it was immensely difficult to pull it off. Thankfully, it worked. Nanami's warmth saved my life. Well, yeah, I'm nothing without her. Having reassessed my own fallibility, I walk over to the collapsed guy. All that's left is time up. But then, the guy who I thought was unconscious suddenly glares at me. A gunshot echoes through the warehouse. However, the bullet speeds past me and knocks the gun out of the guy's hand. Oh, it's Ryonosuke! From behind! What are you doing here? Dad! The shot that saved me was fired from none other than my dad, who was supposed to be on the run right now. I was hiding in the goddamn safe next door. The goddamn, not safe. Like, I was hiding in the goddamn storage house next door. I heard the shots, so I decided, hey, something's going on. Well, sure, but should you be here right now? I mean, the SFD was framed for that warehouse explosion, right?
Levy 5のおかげで、なんとか無実が証明されて解放された。
What? And I talked to her. She said there was nothing she could do on her own, so I assumed she went into hiding.
個人でできることとして、山辺の身辺を調査してくれたんだよ。
He goes on to explain that Yamabe had been on their radar before they even began investigating the anti-Astron group. It all comes back to the large crime syndicate they'd been after. Yamabe's name apparently surfaced during those investigations. But after realizing that the SFD was on his case, he took preemptive action and caused this whole commotion. I would have helped if she'd just told me.
そう言うな。そっちを手伝ってたら、この拉致は阻止できなかったかもしれないんだ。お前のおかげで被害はなく、侵入してた連中も捕まえられたんだ。まったく、俺はおとなしくしてろと言ったはずなんだがな。
So, back to what we were talking about. How'd you get out of the situation you were in?
ああ、それは山辺のおかげだ。自分の立場を守るためとはいえ、マフィアとのつながりを利用したんだからな。
What do you mean?
吉華学院の情報なんてあやふやなものだろ。そんな取引をするには信用が必要だ。
True.
つまり山辺は以前から連中とつながりがあったんだよ。
Oh, so it's that way publicly denied that kidnappings were taking place?
おそらく何らかの弱みを握られているんだろう。断ることができず、マフィアから金をもらって擁護していたんだ。マフィアから逃げられないと分かると、開き直ってズブズブになっていったんだ。
Maybe he sold information to accumulate funds for future political ambitions. There's also the possibility that he had no specific objective in mind and simply wanted to line his pockets. Scumbag.
レビー5にはそのあたりをつついてもらった。で、なんとか総理に証拠を突きつけられたってわけだ。いくら山部が力を持っていると言っても、さすがにこれはかばいきれん。周りも全員手を引いた。
And you got released.
突犯もなんとか無事だ。マフィアを捕まえた功績もあるし、なんとかなるだろう。
Makes sense. Other than the warehouse explosion, the SFD has no records of any wrongdoing.
洋税清掃はこのまま潰すことになるだろうがね。新しい会社を作らないと。何にしろ、後処理が大変だよ。
Well, you're the one in charge.
何を他人事みたいに言ってやがる。命令無視、独断専行。こんな危ない真似をして、室長としても親としても、到底是認できるものではない。
Well...
本当によくやってくれたもんだ。
Cheerful tone in his voice betrays the words he utters.
お前、やっぱり変わったな。
You think?
昔なら、誰かに助けを求めることもできなかったはずだ。
Well, I guess you could say I realized something. What I really wanted, what I needed. I finally found that something. For what reason was I born an astral? That embarrassing attempt at self-discovery was just a way to fool myself. It was something I had to do to protect myself, otherwise I would have sunk into a deep pit of despair. I was essentially just bemoaning my plight and wanting others to take notice of me. In hindsight, I was just running away from my problems when I joined the SFD. I wanted to feel needed, and I craved that so badly that I instantly latched onto the first opportunity that presented itself without giving it much thought. This was the only way I could come to accept myself, I thought. Had to make myself useful to society. I didn't realize I already had you and Nanami by my side.
いいんじゃないのか、別に。逃げでも何でもお前がうちにいてくれたから、こうして俺は無事でいられるんだ。お前がいたから拉致を阻止して俺も助けてもらった。みんなが救われた。お前が言う逃げのおかげでな。
I mean, sure, but still.
難しく考えすぎなんだよ、お前。まっすぐ生きれば正しく成長するってもんでもないだろう。あのな、逃げるにしたって歩み続けてるには違いないんだよ。一歩踏み出して進み続けなきゃ逃げられないだろ。どういう道をたどったにしろ、お前が必死こいて逃げ続けたからこそこの結果がある。いいじゃないか、少しは誇れよ。止まらずに逃げ続けた自分ってやつをさ。
I get what you're saying, but still.
そんな風に言えるってことはそれってやつが手に入ったんだろ。だからその逃げは前払いだと思っとけ。
Advance payment? For what?
失ってから大切なことに気づくこともある。生きてりゃ誰だって傷を負う。お前は今までその傷の前払いをしてただけだよ。だから大切にしろ。手に入れられた自分をもっと認めてやったらどうだ。じゃないとまたなくしちまうぞ。
I wouldn't want that.
俺はサトルが自分の息子であることを誇りに思ってるよ。
Right. Thanks, Dad. Sorry for everything I put you through over the years.
だから謝るなよ。
Dad had acknowledged me as family long ago, basically right after he adopted me. I, however, never really acknowledged him as family in the truest sense, because I was afraid of losing it again.
お前は本当にバカだな、サトル。
I don't disagree. Only an idiot would take this long to realize something this simple.
そんな泣きそうな顔をするな。ナナミが待ってるんだろ。妹にそんな顔を見せるつもりか？
Of course not.
早く安心させてやれよ。このシスコン。
Don't call me a siscon!
お前が自分で言ったんだろうが、ただのシスコンだって。
What? You're taking that completely out of context. I said that I was an average brother who may be a bit of a siscon. Honestly, I can't really deny being one at this point. I just hated what other people pointed out! Whatever, I'm going back now.
ああ、とっとと行け。
Thanks, Dad.
礼を言うのは俺の方だ。ありがとう、サトル。
やっと戻ってきた。
先輩！
遅いよ。心配したんだからね。
Sorry.
だが、怪我はなさそうだな。よかった。
無事なら何より。
Like at least you seem uninjured. Yeah, but I did have my my eardrums ruptured, but it's fine now. Yeah, I got the guy and I'm alright. Thanks for everything, you guys. After thanking everyone for their help, I turn around. I'm back, just like I promised.
遅いから心配したよ。
Sorry, he put up a bit of a fight. And I got a little held up afterwards, but the point is I got him and it's all good now.
私が心配してるのは、お兄ちゃんのこと。怪我はしてないんだよね。
Well, he pulled a fast one on me, but I'm alive thanks to the charm you gave me.
やっぱり怪我をしたんだ。どうせ油断して予想外の逆襲でもされたんでしょ。
Maybe.
お兄ちゃんはすぐそうやって油断するから。
Please, Nanami, you can hound me all you want later. Just spare me the lecturing right now. I'm way too tired.
そうだね。今言うべきはお説教じゃないね。
Anyways, if you'll excuse me, I'll be passing out. I'm back, Nanami.
おかえり、お兄ちゃん。
That she leaps into my chest and wraps her arms around me.
本当に無事でよかった。おかえり。
Sorry for worrying you. And also thanks. I wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. Really saved my skin time and again. You see, really saved my skin time and again. Time and time again. Talking is hard, okay? Reading is one.
もっとしっかりしてくれないと困る。心配ばっかりさせられて、いつか押しつぶされちゃいそうだよ。
Sorry, I'll be more careful from now on.
いつもそうやって口ばっかり。
Why would you think that? Have I ever broken a promise I made to you?
何度でもあるよ。
Really now?
でも、本当に大切なことだけはちゃんと守ってくれる。
See, I'm plenty capable when I need to be.
信じてる。あと、ありがとう。私のお願い聞いてくれて、私の今を守ってくれて。
You need to thank me. It's just as important to me as it is to you. Besides, I'd do anything to make my sweet little Nanami happy. I am your brother, after all. Stop that.
最高のお兄ちゃんだよ。
Just stop
お兄
it.
ちゃん、大好き。
Just stop it. Roll credits! I'm a peace out now, bye. At least until after the credits. There's probably still something afterwards, so just enjoy the credits! Sorry, was responding to a comment real quick. Anyways, let's put that away. A few days have passed since we captured those Mafia goons. The whole incident ended without any casualties. The SFD was released, and it's all wrapped up without public ever hearing a peep. The Academy also never found out about what happened. There was no small amount of noise and commotion that night, but we managed to write it all off as part of Maya's experiment. Which brings us to the present.
山部博介議員が体力の限界などとして次回の選挙の出馬を見送り、政界を引退することを党の幹部に伝えました。
This news story is proof that the affair is now truly over with. Considering the underlying reasons behind his retirement and existing evidences to support them, it's safe to say that Yamabin no longer has any influence over anything. There were also changes in the SFD. Just like that speculated, Ayase cleaning was shut down. That didn't have any impact on the SFD itself, though. A different company has already been founded, and members have successfully been transferred there. Apparently the fact that we captured the Mafia members really helped boost our credibility. Dad even told me we were getting a budget increase. He was ecstatic about that. That said, all these changes are changes in the outside world. Our lives here at the dorm haven't changed much at all. Haven't changed much, if at all. As promised, none of the others ever brought up what transpired that night again. Their attitudes towards us have remained mostly the same as well. Don't seem to be bothered by our circumstances. We get up at the same time as you always, go to school, and hang out with our friends. Today I'm once again relishing that normalcy I've achieved.
さてと。それじゃあ約束通り、餃子を作ってもらおうかな。はい。
In exchange for their help, they wanted gyoza. Nanami, of course, seems more than happy to oblige.
皆さんも餃子でいいですか？
作ってくれるのならとても嬉しいが、いいのか？
はい、本当に感謝してますから、約束とか関係なくこの気持ちを返せたらって思うんです。ですから嫌いじゃなければぜひ食べてください。
そうか、そういうことならいただこう。あの餃子は本当に美味しかったからな。
ちょっとわがまま言ってもいいかな？
はい、なんなりと。
一人前とかじゃなくてもっと食べたいんだけど。
わかりました。じゃあたくさん作りますね。
ありがとう。
綾瀬先輩も餃子でいいんですか？リクエストがあれば言ってください。
ここの寮生活だと餃子なんかは食べる機会がないので、私も餃子で。はい、
わかりました。
私も餃子でいい。いや、餃子がいい。何か手伝えることがあったら言ってね、ななみちゃん。
それはダメだよ、千咲ちゃん。これはお礼なんだから、気持ちは嬉しいけど、手伝ってもらったら意味がなくなっちゃうよ。
でも、やっぱり大変でしょ？
平気。だって私にはお兄ちゃんがいるから。サトルくんは手伝ってよ。
Of course, I owe everyone to him, so I ought to express my gratitude along with you. Besides, I can't say no to a request from my darling little sister.
そうそう。
はいはい、ごちそうさま。幸せそうなのはいいことだけど、イチャイチャは二人きりの時にしてくれないかな。
すみま
せん。いや、責めてるわけじゃなくてね、独り身には辛いってことで。とにかく美味しい餃子をお願いね。
はい、了解です。
Come to think of it, I don't think you've ever told me how you make your gyoza.
あれ、知らなかったっけ？
Well, I guess it does make sense. You've always made gyoza whenever we fought about something. So unlike most other dishes, I've never accompanied you to go buy ingredients. This'll be the first time.
そういえばそうかも。別に特別なことをしてるわけじゃないよ。ひき肉にニラとキャベツと鶏ガラスープもオリジナルってわけじゃないしね。
Okay, kinda hard to believe you can make them so ridiculously good with just normal recipe. Maybe it's because you make them with love for your dear brother.
またそんなキモいことを言う。それに、餃子の時に込めてるのは、大抵の場合は怒りだよ。
Right.
だから、愛情を込める今日の餃子は、もっと美味しくなるかもね。
Oh, I can't wait.
期待だけじゃなくて、ちゃんと手伝ってよ。
I know. Ready to go, Nanami? Hell, I hold out my hand to her. She takes my hand without a moment's delay. We set off hand in hand to go buy our ingredients for the day's gyoza. Someone's in a good mood.
そりゃそうだよ。こうして何の憂いもなく、お兄ちゃんと一緒にいられるんだもん。あの時、私たちだけで逃げたりしなくて、本当によかった。
It's only thanks to the fact that we safely overcame that incident that we were able to go on a leisurely shopping trip while holding hands. Thinking about it kinda gets me feeling a little emotional. It sets my mind at ease.
サトルくんは嬉しくない？
What do you think? Of course I do. Get to hold hands with my sweet little sister. What's there not to be happy about?
やっぱりシスコンだ。
If I'm a siscon, then you're a brocon.
そうだね。私もお兄ちゃんと手をつなげてるのがとっても嬉しいよ。
It's all thanks to you, Nanami. You saved my ass.
そうかな。むしろサトルくんがいろいろ頑張ってくれたからだと思うんだけど。
And I was only able to because I had you with me. Had I been alone, I might have opted to run away.
私が言わなくてもサトルくんは逃げずに頑張ってくれたよ。絶対に。お兄ちゃんはちゃんと立ち向かってくれたよ。なんだかんだで優しいもん。知らなかったことにして逃げるような人じゃない。
You think?
間違いないよ。
Saying that, she then cuddles up to me and links her arm around mine as we hold
だっ
hands.
て私が好きになったのはそういうところだもん。それとも妹の言うことが信じられないっていうの？
Nah, you know me better than anyone, so if you say so, it must be true. I'd regret more than anything. There have been a number of previous occasions where I chose to do things my way, even if it wasn't the smartest option on paper. So she's probably right. I would have fought against the Mafia in the end. However, I thought I would have been able to lower my head and ask the others for help. Her retaliation would have been purely self-serving. I would have decided to do so knowing I was doomed to fail from the outset. So, when it's all said and done, Nanami is largely to blame for the fact that we achieved such a favorable outcome. Thanks, Nanami. I love you too. Alright, let's get going. You don't want to dawdle around too long. The others are probably dying to eat your gyoza ASAP.
早く材料を買って帰って気合を入れて料理しないと。なんと言ってもお礼の餃子なんだから。
She harumphs as she fires herself up. The next moment, she looks up at me with a rather mischievous grin on her face.
お兄ちゃんは餃子でいいの？
What do you mean?
だからお礼。妹のお願いを聞いてくれたお兄ちゃんにもお礼が必要だと思わない？
The way she's looking at me with upturned eyes is, awfully seductive. Her expression, her voice, every single one of her mannerisms is unbelievably sexy right now. Right now, she's not registering in my mind as a little girl, but a woman. Which in turn causes my body to heat up, my mouth dries, and I end up swallowing my saliva.
なんかやらしい目をしてる。こんなところで何を考えてるんだか。お兄ちゃんのスケベ。私はお礼としか言ってないのに何を想像してるんだか。
Wasn't fantasizing about anything, I swear on it.
嘘だ。正直に言ってくれたら考えないでもないんだけどな。
Of crying out loud. Any guy is gonna think sex when his girlfriend brings up a reward.
やっぱりところ構わず妹に発情するなんてけだものだね、お兄ちゃんは。
Damn it, she played me like a fiddle.
何もそこまでしょんぼりしなくてもしょうがないな、お兄ちゃんは。大丈夫。私もちょっと期待してたから、お兄ちゃんにはもっと特別なお礼してあげるからね。
She stands on her tiptoes and softly whispers that into my ear. The feeling of her breath causes my whole body to tremble. You call me the naughty one, but I feel you're pretty naughty. You're a pretty naughty girl yourself, Nanami.
しょうがないよ。だって私たちは兄弟なんだもん。兄がスケベなけだものなんだから、妹だってスケベなけだものになっちゃう。それともこんなエッチな妹は嫌い？
Of course not. I wouldn't have it any other way.
だと思った。
Just stop. She leans against my arm, closing what little distance there was between us.
歩きづらいかな。
A little bit, but we'll just have to walk slightly slower.
フローチャート画面だな。
Epilogue. This is the epilogue. It's an awfully long epilogue.
フローチャート画面です。
So chapter 8 is the epilogue. Chapter 9 is the epilogue. Chapter 11 is the epilogue. Chapter 7 is the epilogue. So Nanami appears to be the shortest one yet. Anyways, you know, if you don't consider Chisaki's, since, you know, she's side route, so of course she'd be shorter.
そうだね。お兄ちゃん。
She affectionately rubs her cheek against me like a kitten or a puppy would. It's almost like she's trying to put her smell on my arm. You're killing me.
帰りは荷物があってこんなことできないからね。それともご不満ですか？
Oh no, by all means, please continue.
よろしい。
We finished buying the ingredients we needed and returned to the dorm and started making the gyoza together. First the dough for the wrappers, then the filling. After that, it was time to roll out the dough and wrap the filling. It took quite a bit of time. There were a few cumbersome steps involved, but it was still fun doing because I was doing it with Nanami. Soon enough, the gyoza were finished. Everyone looked at them with pure glee and immediately began to dig in.
おいしい。やっぱりななみちゃんの餃子はとってもおいしいよ。ありがとう。
ごめんごめん。ああ、やっぱり美味しいね。
癖になる味ですよね。
ああ、もうそんなにガツガツ食べるから。ほら、水だ。
ありがとう、二条院さん。でもそんな風にお箸が止まらなくなるのはわかります。そうだよね。うん、やっぱりたくさん作ってもらってよかった。はっ、
それに関しては同感だ。い
え、お礼を言わなければいけないのはこちらなんですから。たくさん食べてください。ぜひ。その方が私としても嬉しいです。
わかった。それじゃあお言葉に甘えて。美味しい。美味しい餃子のコツとかあるの？
その問いかけは野暮ってやつですよ、式部先輩。
というと？
愛ですよ、愛。愛し合う二人の共同作業がこの味を生むんですよ。
お、なるほど。となると、いくらレシピを教えてもらっても独り身にこの味は出せないね。
Impending depression.
じゃあ食べたくなったらまたお願いしてもいいかな、ななみちゃん。
はい。それはもちろん構いませんけど。やった
じゃあななみちゃん、これからもよろしくね。
これからも。はい、よろしくお願いします。
Did you take the conversation there by chance? Or was that intentional? Well, I'm pretty sure it's the latter. He knew beforehand about the Mafia's plans. In addition, nothing about the gangsters we caught has been reported on by any news. From their perspective, there are still a ton of unanswered questions. But they're all not asking us anything about it, just like they promised they would. Just looking at all these warm smiles makes me realize how much they care about us. They're blessed to have such wonderful people considering me their friend. This was well worth protecting. Thanks so from the bottom of my heart.
どうかしたか、有原くん。
What do you mean?
今、笑っていただろ？
Did I? Didn't even notice myself. Well, just forget about it. Anyhow, thanks for everything, Nijuin.
あ、よろしく。
よいしょー。
食べながら喋るのは行儀が悪いぞ、スオ。
今後ともよろしく。
まあ、借りはもう少しあるか。なんせ助けてもらったのは命なわけだし。よろしくお願いします、有原くん。
Thanks. Those words came out unconsciously. Everyone smiles at kind words. And Mitsukaze could use words under her persona. That makes my heart feel so warm. What I'm savoring right now isn't the taste of the gyoza, but this precious something we've managed to protect. Well, the mood's gotten a bit sappy here. Let's get to the gyoza while they're still nice and hot.
だね。冷めたら台無しだもんね。
ちょっと、そう先輩、それ私の餃子。まだあるから落ち着いて、千咲ちゃん。
This carefree banter warms my heart. Still, it feels like there's something filling my chest. It's an incredibly blissful sensation. Phew, I might have overdone it a bit with our little party. I flop onto my bed exhausted. I feel like I'm gonna sleep good tonight. This comfortable drowsiness has invited me to close my eyes, but as I'm about to give in to that temptation, my phone starts to ring. Wondering who it might be, I pick up my phone and see that it's Nanami. What you need at this hour? Hello?
よかった。まだ起きてた。
You need something?
ちょっと今からそっちに行ってもいい？
To my room?
窓を開けておいてね。
What? Window? Hey! Before I have the chance to ask any questions, she hangs up. I rush over to the window and open it up. The next moment, a rope comes dangling down, upon which she comes sliding down. Will you ever learn? You're just messing with me, aren't you? Be honest. Her arms are wobbling, shaking and wobbling like crazy, to prevent her from actually falling and grab her by her collar like a kitten and pull her inside the room. I keep telling you to stop doing this.
ごめんね。1秒でも早くお兄ちゃんに会いたくて、つい。
I mean, I'm glad you feel that way and all, but look, I want to have you fall. I want to have you fall down and then never be able to see you again.
ごめんなさい。
So, what's got you in such a hurry? Something happened?
いや、そういうわけじゃなくて、特別なことは何もないんだけど、なんか嬉しくって。
Why is this epilogue taking so long?
みんないつも通りで、これからもって言ってくれたのがすごく嬉しくて、なんかもう嬉しすぎて眠れそうにないから話がしたくて、つい。
I know what you mean. Look, Nanami, I'm sorry.
何が?
For being an idiot that failed to understand what was important for so long. Thanks for staying by my side all this time despite that. It's only due to your support throughout the years that I was finally able to realize it.
お礼を言いたいのは、支えてもらってたのは私の方だよ。私、お兄ちゃんと出会えて、お兄ちゃんの妹になれて、本当によかった。大好きだよ、お兄ちゃん。
I'm just glad that you became my sister. I love you, Nanami. Love you too, Nanami. Spread my arms and she leaps right into my chest without a moment's delay. I still wish they would stop the whole sister thing. After that, I tightly wrapped my arms around that tiny soft body of hers.
お兄ちゃんの体、あったかい。
As warmth is my love for you.
わかるよ。お兄ちゃんの気持ち。熱くて、ドキドキして、優しいぬくもり。リラックスしちゃうぐらい心地いいよ。お兄ちゃん。
I can feel her heartbeat too. It's beating fast. In tandem with that heartbeat, a gentle warmth spreads through me, all the way to my fingertips and toes. It's like her love is sinking into my body. As a result, it's starting to boil hotter.
お兄ちゃんの体、もっと熱くなってきたよ。
It's a reflection of my feelings. I'm overcome with this strong urge to tell you how much I love you. Just making my body heat up. Love you, Nanami. More than anything.
感じる。ちゃんと伝わってる。嬉しいよ。お兄ちゃん。お兄ちゃん。
Heard there, I need to save this fucking iced tea so it lasts until tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Let me fucking douse myself in it. Like an actual goddamn moron. Somewhat try it. Second one. It's all over the fucking cable as well. Anyways, we strongly embrace one another to savor those feelings. I love you, Nanami.
私も愛してる。お兄ちゃん。
She gazes up at me with glossy eyes. Inside those eyes isn't just love, but a burning passion too. I want more. I want to feel her love for me more. As that thought begins to dominate my mind, I steal her lips greedily, wanting to directly suck her love into me. What? That's kind of weird. Seemingly having understood what I meant, Nanami kissed me back like she was trying to convey her love to me.
好き。お兄ちゃん。
There we get it. Love you too, more than anything. You're my world. We exchange a passionate, unrelenting kiss to express the intensity of our love. But it's not enough. I haven't been able to fully express my love yet. We intertwine our tongues and strongly press our bodies together. After running out of breath, I finally let go of her lips. She keeps gazing up at me with her glossy eyes.
キス。熱い。けど、足りない。まだ足りない。もっと伝えたい。胸の中の、この気持ち。ねえ、お兄ちゃん、約束したこと覚えてる？
Which promise?
特別なお礼をしてあげるって言ったよね。
Oh yeah, I remember. I mean, there's no way I'd forget that.
嬉しいから部屋に来たって言ったけど、それだけじゃなくてね。約束を果たそうと思って。 予売しに来ちゃった。
So similar to what Mayu tried to do. Oh yeah, that was like full sexing with Mayu. By nighttime fun, you mean sex, right?
他にないでしょ。予売。私はスケベでけだものな妹だもん。あんなに密着したら我慢できなくなって、妹はお兄ちゃんを予売しちゃうんだよ。
Not that I ever had any intention of resisting. And then they fucked! Nanami seems to have winded down already. She's sleeping soundly right next to me. Looking at her peaceful face as she sleeps is enough to fill me with happiness. As I relish the sight, I naturally find myself stroking her hair.
お兄ちゃん。
Oh, sorry, did I wake you up?
気にしないでいいよ。というか、起こしてくれればよかったのに。
I couldn't. Your sleeping face was just too cute. Come to think of it, I've hardly ever seen you sleeping.
私はお兄ちゃんの寝顔をいっぱい見たことあるよ。
That's to be expected. She used to wake me up on a near daily basis. Really appreciate all the things you did for me.
いえいえ、どういたしまして。私、どれぐらい寝てた？
About 15 minutes, I'd say. You can keep sleeping for a bit longer if you want.
もともとうたた寝だから、気持ちよくてつい寝ちゃっただけ。
Feel exhausted after coming too. Having sex does use up a lot of stamina after all.
なんか変なこと考えてない？気持ちいいって言っても性的な意味じゃないよ。
What, you didn't?
そうだよ。私はお兄ちゃんの匂いに包まれてるみたいで気持ちいいって言ってるの。
Saying that, she gleefully buries her face in my bed sheets.
お兄ちゃんの匂いだ。
I haven't washed my sheets in a while, don't they stink?
だからお兄ちゃんの匂いが濃くて好き。
Do you have a smell fetish?
どうだろう。別に匂いにこだわりなんてないんだけど、お兄ちゃんの匂いだから好きなだけ。
Well, if that's what you mean, then I love your smell too. As I say that, I reach out for her head once more, and then gently stroke it while combing through the hair that twists around my fingers. It's a very sweet, nice smell.
頭撫でられるのは好きだけど、髪の毛の匂いを嗅ぐのはなんか変態っぽい。
Really?
そうだよ。それにやっぱり恋人ならこっちだと思うな。
She draws my hand closer and firmly takes hold of it.
お兄ちゃんの匂いに包まれながらお兄ちゃんのぬくもり、私幸せだよ。
Do you want to feel more of my warmth?
お兄ちゃんの目またエッチになってる。うたた寝する前にようやく片付けたところなのに。それにたくさん言ったからもう無理だって言ったのはお兄ちゃんだよ。
Well, yeah, that's what I thought. But as I was watching your face as you slept, no, I kinda got turned on again.
元気だなぁ。
Are you too exhausted?
そうだね。割とさすがにあれだけ言っちゃうと。
Alright. Well, I guess we can just continue another day.
あれ？なんか意外とあっさり諦めたね。
I don't want to force you to have sex if you're tired. I think I gave him enough for one day, too. If I just relax and try to sleep, I'm sure it'll go away in no time. Grasp her hand. No need for me to get impatient. We'll have countless other opportunities to have sex. We have our whole lives ahead of us.
一緒。ずっとずっと一緒にいようね。お兄ちゃん。
You had to ruin it. But I'll never let you go. Thank you so much, Nanami. Being with you just makes me feel so... Just being with you just makes me feel so happy.
何？急に死亡フラグみたいなこと言い出したりして。どうしたの？
Actually, the whole like game, they kept talking about how apparently she's a weeb and really likes cosplay. Yet not once have we seen actual cosplay or something around her room or anything. That's kind of weird. No, I think I just realized I'm only so happy right now because I have you. I gave you every reason not to like me, but you still stuck with me all throughout the years. And now you're the light of my life. So I want to thank you. It's hard.
幸せにしてもらってるのは私の方だもん。こうして手をつないでるだけで本当に幸せ。
I would never actually have like a watch. Still, it's fucking taking ages.
お兄ちゃん。
Yeah, Nanami?
呼んでみただけ。ずっとこういうの夢見てたから。
What, sleeping with your boyfriend at night?
違うよ。お兄ちゃんとこうしてイチャイチャすることは夢が叶って私幸せだよ。
No, you're the one spouting off death flag lines. Besides, you're wrong about that. Your dream's only just beginning. There's much more ahead there's so much more ahead of us. Talking is hard. We'll spend a lot of time together and go on tons of dates. Let's keep fostering our relationship.
そうだね。もっともっと一緒に過ごしたい。
Yep, and we'll do it all.
今後とも末永くよろしくお願いします。
Same here. I'm sure I'll end up being the cause of a few headaches, but it'd be great if you could be with me. Your smile is one of genuine happiness. It makes me feel so warm and content.
お兄ちゃんも何か希望があったら言ってくれていいよ。一緒に夢を叶えていこう。
Does that include sex-related things?
それ聞いちゃうんだ。
Well, I figured now was the perfect time to ask that.
しょうがないな。あんまりハードなのじゃなければいいよ。あとね、私のエッチな希望にも付き合ってくれるなら。
You have sexual fantasies?
まあ、人並みには。あくまで人並みだよ。
Much to my surprise, she has a bit of a sadistic side to her. I'm also a bit scared of making rash promises. But on the other hand, a part of me also wants to see what she's interested in. Now we'll have plenty of time to experiment. So let's try all sorts of things and see what we like best.
絶対にこの手を離しちゃダメだからね。
The special reward is the achievement I get out of that. Okay. Well, that was Nanami's route.
おまけだよ。
Let me just go in here and I kind of forgot about this CG, so I was like... So I was like that, there's only like one more, like two... Oh, like I forgot there was only... I thought there was only two more. I completely forgot this one. That's what I'm trying to say, but then again, maybe I'm just retarded. That's a very real possibility. Anyways, just gonna use this as a thumbnail. You guys wouldn't spoil that too much either. Especially since it's gonna like make people think, hey, it shouldn't be that should be relatively early or something. At least in my mind, at least. So anyways, yeah, that was Nanami's route. Don't have too much left to do now. So, next time we'll be starting with Ayase's route. Looking forward to that.
フローチャート画面だね。
Yeah, all the way down to all done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one and see you next time. Bye bye. Maybe I should actually move my mouse over the goddamn stop recording button. Anyways, bye.